So what do you say, show or no show, huh?
Huh?
How about if we flipped a coin? Show or no show? Anyway, it's 10:01 at 560 WQAM, and what a job George did this summer. Let's hear it for little George, okay?
You're sweet.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like sugar.
But you know what they say.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
Yeah, that's what they say, but of course, come to find out that you still were number one in the summer book, which is mostly you. And the rest of the station was in the crapper, baby. We got walloped in the morning by those idiots across the street. We got walloped. I threw the numbers away. I don't want to look at them anymore. We're number 18 in the morning in an afternoon drive and number 1 in midday. How do you like that? Wow. What do you think the reason is for that?
Just luck.
The fact that we don't talk sports enough, maybe that's what it is.
Oh, can't be that.
Bad news, we got a celebrity death. Oh, and another one of those old trolls you're always talking about. Yep. Takes an old troll to know one. Jane Wyatt is dead. See, I would have thought she died 100 years ago. By the way, you already talked about Bob Lassiter passing away, so
yes,
there's not much point in my repeating it. Actress Jane Wyatt, the prototypical housewife and mother in the television series Father Knows Best, has died. She was only 96. Oh, a veritable child. Wyatt died Friday of natural causes in her sleep. Oh, she was 96. What did she die of? Old age, okay? Jesus God. Died of natural causes in her sleep at her house in Bel Air, California. Her goddaughter and publicist Meg McDonald said her goddaughter. I didn't know there was such a thing as a goddaughter, but I guess if there's a godfather, there must be a godson and a goddaughter and a godmother.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
I'm a
godson. There's always the mother. Before taking a role in the TV series, Wyatt had already established herself as a television pioneer, serving as host of the Bell Telephone Hour. Even I don't remember that. Maybe Chicken Neck does. I sure don't.
Probably. He's probably got it on tape.
Oh, and by the way, have you ever seen Chicken Neck and Bobby Rydell together? Same person.
Who?
Only Bobby has a comb over.
I don't think I've ever seen Bobby Rydell.
Well, recently, he's doing an infomercial for the Time Life, what do they call it? The malt shop, the something shop. Not the malt shop. Anyway, whatever the hell it is. Another one of those Time Life series. You haven't bought them yet?
No.
But it was her co-starring role with Robert Young on Father Knows Best that catapulted her to stardom and led her to become the first consecutive winner of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Emmy Award. How do you like that little piece of trivia?
Mm-hmm.
When you go on the Mike Spindell show to do some trivia?
Oh, yeah.
In the late 60s, she appeared in an episode of Star Trek as Spock's mother, a role she reprised in 86 in the Voyage Home a Star Trek movie. How do you like that, as Spock's mother? I don't know if she had the ears for it.
Spock's mother's a human.
I see. She acted in Great Expectations in 1934, Lost Horizon 37, None But the Lonely Heart in 1944, Gentleman's Agreement in 47, Task Force, and The Voyage Home in 86. And it goes on. Nobody cares about Jane Wyatt. She's 96. She was, and she's dead now.
Who?
What about Robert Young? When the hell did he croak? He's been dead a long time, hasn't he? Should be. Here's George's poll from Friday. What a job George did. Let's put him on again right now. Show or no show?
Not.
What do you mean by that?
It's your turn, baby.
No way.
Wait.
Enough is enough. I'm stepping aside. Yeah. And by the way, you get to hear the show for free today and tomorrow.
And then what? We'll start charging.
We're streaming on the internet for free today and tomorrow, and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday too. How do you like that?
All right.
Yeah. How about those fish? The Nick Saban era is rapidly drawing to a close, huh? I bet you they're giving facials in the locker room. Try to clear up the complexion of the team. Well, they got a little zit problem there, you know what I'm saying? Got a bunch of zit heads. Boy, they really suck. For just a second there, in the last couple of minutes of the game, they gave that little... and I noticed there was an awful lot of people in the crowd disguised as orange seats.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Wow. A sea of orange, not just in the upper deck, which is, to be figured, the nosebleed seats, but I saw a lot of orange.
I loved when they showed the stadium. I'd like to know
the Patriot game, I didn't have to watch too much of that because they beat little girls' team, the Bills. And how about those Hurricanes? Oh! Of course, they had... now, let's see. Did you talk about that at all? Because you're a non-sports person. That's what Bo Camper says. You're the anti-sports guy.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Did I talk about what? The Dolphins losing?
That embarrassing brawl with last weekend with UM and FIU.
No, we played a comedy bit about it.
Well, what the hell was funny about that? That was a disgrace. Hey, Donna Shalala, you're a disgrace, honey. You can't spell scum without UM. Man, that was a piece of crap is what that was. But anyway, they're just squeezed by Duke, and of course Duke is 0-7. They damn near lost that game. Well, we had 18 starters suspended, 18 players suspended. How do you have 18 starters? Well, it could be. 9 on offense and 9 on... They're pretty offensive, if you ask me. Here's George's poll, 1,635 votes. What story did you never believe? Oh, there's all kinds of stories out there in the street.
We left a lot out, too, but those are the big ones.
The one about O.J. being innocent, 638. You'll be pleased to know, since I'm not going to pander to these people that only care about celebrities like Madonna, you'll be pleased to know I have the New Inquirer in my hand right now.
Oh, good.
And guess what the top story is in here besides Brad is caught with a hooker? O.J. confesses in a tell-all book and gets $3.5 million and names his accomplice.
Well,
the book is called If I Did It.
Yeah. If.
And that's subtle? Yeah, If I Did It. Anyway, nobody believes you're innocent. 638. 39% of the audience said that they'd never believe that. The one about the WMD is 309. The one about Bush being a Christian, 200. The one about who shot Kennedy, 139. And that magic bullet that Arlen Specter's always ranting about. The one about God.
Oh, God.
86, the God Bullschmidt. The one about the Easter Bunny, 66. What about the Tooth Fairy?
Damn it, I forgot about that.
The one about the plane hitting the Pentagon, 64. The one about Jesus, 46. The one about Flight 93, 34. The one about Jessica Lynch, 29. And the one about Santa Claus, 24. See, that's in last place because as a little kid, you're gullible, and your parents lie to you like crazy. And they give you all the God Bullschmidt and the Jesus Bullschmidt and the Santa Claus Bullschmidt and the Tooth Fairy Bullschmidt. And by the time you're old enough to try to figure out what the hell's going on, your brain is overloaded with Bullschmidt. Man. Oh, man, I can smell it. Where's the George's pool? You know, the thing that amazes me, and I don't want to, what's the point? We got that nice bonus coming in unexpected. I was sitting there plunging my lungs at Woodbine on Saturday morning, and all of a sudden I get a message on my BlackBerry, and it's from Clarence, and he's got the numbers for me there, which I'd forgotten all about it. You know, the summer book.
Me too. They came in like, Friday morning or something. Hey, you got the book today.
Unexpectedly. And that's because he never comes in and says, oh, by the way, we got the numbers coming in on Friday or whenever, you know. Because he sucks. By the way, nice job, Clarence, with that sports thing. And also to Joe Bell. Man, I'll tell you, if you guys would have waited any longer, we could have had a minus in front of the numbers during those sports segments. No, seriously. And the guys across the street, thanks to that Phantom August, man, they spanked our ass in the morning big time. Of course, no, the excuse being that we were making the big transition during last month, weren't we?
That's right.
When did the Kenny and Bo show and Mad Dog go to 2 and the Humberback in the afternoon and the Power Hour and the Big Shower? When did all that start?
The beginning of September?
No, I think it was the end of August.
August 28th, I believe.
That's what I'm thinking. Right. So that didn't show up in this, it did show up, but only a month of it. Whatever that means. And Clarence says the monthlies will be coming in, like he can't extrapolate that himself. This is a program director. This is a simpleton, man. This is an idiot. He can't extrapolate it himself. He's got to wait for it to come in on a computer. If you're keeping track of these things month by month, you can, an idiot, a monkey could do it. A chimpanzee, or just a regular pansy, Clarence. That should cover your territory. God. Oh, seriously, what kind of crap is that? He's got to wait, who wants to know, you know? So anyway, you warned, I think you warned him a little bit late, though.
Well, I warned them like the second day they were on the air.
George warned Kenny the other day about don't let them destroy your show with that sports crap. And there was Bo Camper, evidently. Did you have some kind of a mole out there in the hallway over listening? Or do you
I didn't think they were all milling about out there in the hallway. By the way, I didn't mention sports crap.
That's the anti-sports crowd in there. They don't listen to anything they say, Kenny. Yeah, see, they got to get Bo Camper off that show. He's the one that's killing him. He's the excuse for turning it into another damn sports show. We don't want to hear a sports show. Don't you understand how Mad Dog we want to hear and Hank we want to hear? Not because they're talking about sports, because it's them, okay? What kind of a simpleton wants to hear the same people talking about the same stupid-ass games day after day, hour after hour? I'm telling you, you've got to be a crazy person, don't you? Although Josh is all whipped up because his team just went and looked. I turned that game off. I thought you guys blew it again. And actually you did, but then bailed out with that 62-yard field goal at the end. I couldn't believe when I saw the final score.
I thought he had no chance to make that.
And I missed it. I would have enjoyed seeing that. Because I was rooting for you. I figured, well, maybe they're actually going to win a game. And then again, they blow the game there with the seconds. What was it, 8 or 9 seconds left?
Yeah, they're infamous for that.
Well, what kind of a crappy kickoff was it by the Eagles anyway? He must have had a pretty good run back. No?
Well, I didn't get the game, but they switched to it at the end to show us the field goal.
You didn't get the game?
No. It wasn't on TV. I don't have the package.
You don't have a package? Well, that explains a lot. Now you're going to get me thinking about that Pharrell thing that I read on there last. Remember that? Yeah. About stuffing his... but anyway. Stuffing his turkey on Thanksgiving. That's what that was about. Just don't start, will you please?
You started it.
Man. Facial my ass.
Can that actually be done?
October has become the deadliest month this year for U.S. troops fighting in Iraq. What I was going to say, and you interrupted me, it's just amazing to me. I know I'm a stuffy, stupid old turd, and nobody cares about anything except Deal or No Deal, and who's stuck out there on Survivor Island. But how can this continue going on? And the public is like that. You know, how's that Madonna baby thing coming? You know.
What are you talking about? The war or the Dolphins?
I'm talking about all these dead people, man.
Oh,
all these people dying based on a pack of lies. And then Nancy Pelosi says, "Oh well, if the Democrats win control of Congress, impeachment is not on their agenda." Right. That's one of the reasons. Maybe the Democrats are full of crap. Bunch of weak-kneed jellyfish, man. October's become the deadliest month this year for U.S. troops fighting in Iraq, and there's also been a reported spike in the number of killings of Iraqi civilians. I wonder if that's the same spike as on Passions, which I don't watch anymore. The U.S. military yesterday announced the deaths of a U.S. Marine and a soldier in Iraq on Saturday, bringing the monthly military death toll to 80. And today's only the 23rd. 3 other Marines died Saturday in Anbar province. It goes on and on. They're just numbers on a page, that's all. They're just numbers on a piece of paper somewhere, and nobody really is all whipped up about it. Based on a pack of lies. Weapons of mass destruction and regime change, all this other crap. When are we going to start having the first elections in Saudi Arabia and Jordan, huh?
Right.
We're going to have elections in Kuwait. And speaking of the Pakis, boy, I got a story about them that's going to, set you free. They're making all kinds of deals with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. They never met a bunch of terrorists they didn't like. And, of course, remember that Paki scientist who was busy dispensing nuclear secrets to North Korea and Iran and anybody who had the right amount of cash?
Right.
And they spanked him a little bit, and now he's under house arrest and living the life of Riley. 10:14. What's that schedule look like today, man? Now, see, once that new schedule starts, then we're going to turn the corner. It already did?
The biggest names, the best talent. This is
number
Neil
18
Rogers,
in men.
Sports
What
Radio
is that, Clarence? What kind of a number is that?
No.
Yeah.
Monday. Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Florida Congressman Mark Foley. If you're a young man between the ages of 15 and 18, I'd like to talk to you about Foley's Friends Congressional Outreach Program. Foley's Friends is a program that gives teenage boys a hands-on approach to learning about government. They'll learn the nuts and the bolts of working intimately with a congressman's staff, followed by a thorough debriefing. Successful candidates will learn about politics, like running a campaign that's down in the polls. Imagine the thrill of bringing that poll back up again. So apply today, and using one hand, I'll email you all the details. Foley's Friends Congressional Youth Outreach Program. I promise to leave no teenagers behind.
See, that's the kind of crap that everybody gets whipped up about is, Mark Foley is gay. And the priest, the Catholic priest who mysteriously wound up in Malta over there in the Mediterranean. Wonder how the hell he got over there, They weren't moving him around, you think? Anyway, he says he thought Mark Foley enjoyed it. He liked it. So what's the problem,
What's not to like?
Anyway, here's the poll today. I got a Charlie Crist story here from the New York Blade, as in the Blade. When I tell you that somebody is gay, trust me, okay, it takes one to know one. Someone or something you would never listen to on radio. That's our poll today. We got 913 votes. We'll have 1,000 by the end of the hour, maybe. And then I can go home. Yeah. Look at that. College students gain up to 8 pounds in the first year. Well, there's some of them I'd like to help them work that weight off, See, one thing, good piece of news for you, for all you young punks like you guys. Well, no, but you know it. But Josh will discover it, and that is, see, some people think that as you get older, you lose your libido and you become less of a pervert. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, as you get older, you get worse.
Sure.
You get hornier and hornier, and you see people that really look good to you, and you just want to reach out and grab them, which is probably not a good idea. But boy, just see some people like, oh man, I got to have that. Anyway, what's that all about? 913 votes on the poll. Someone or something you would never listen to on radio. Religious program 320. What do you expect from our heathen crowd? Oh, that's good. Rush Limbaugh 206, which is kind of religion in itself, isn't it? Coral Springs School in lockdown over suspicious device.
School, they have been placed in a precautionary lockdown. A suspicious device has been found there, and as you can see, there appears to be a robot-like device that is approaching what we assume to be the suspicious device, that small item, like some sort of cartridge that's there on the school playground. Now, according to police,
looks like a suspicious package.
Looks like a tube with some gray duct tape wrapped around it. So yeah, you can see that just to the right of the robot and just to the left of that white paint mark there. It was found on this playground, what they're calling a basketball court area at the Ramblewood Elementary School in Coral Springs.
Really suspicious and dangerous to me.
Say that they have not evacuated the
I went to Ramblewood Middle.
Did you really?
I did.
Well, there's your package. You were just saying a little while ago you're looking for one.
Get an idea of exactly what this device is.
I know, I sure as hell am.
Not evacuated the school as of yet. Again, this breaking news coming into us just now from Coral Springs, Florida, where an elementary school, the Ramblewood Elementary.
Okay, we'll keep our fly on that. Rush Limbaugh 206, Hip Hop Music 100. Who the hell would listen to that? I sure wouldn't. You couldn't pay me enough to listen to that crap. Bill O'Reilly 82. And you know, you got a lot of company because nobody else is listening to his radio show either, at least not in South Florida. In fact, most people don't even know it's on. George Rodriguez, 55. How can you say that? He kicked ass this summer, man, and this last week I'm sure he was like kicking big, fat, smelly ass.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
55 said they would never listen to you. Well, screw that.
Yeah.
Sports Talk, 44. I listened to you before I would listen to Sports Talk, which isn't saying much.
Yeah.
Country Music, 43. I hate this poll, only 23. Air America, 20. Well, you may get your wish. You know, Al Franken making $2 million a year. Does that make you want to cry? I'm so funny. Jazz, 10. Classical Music, 9. Public Radio, 2. And Neil Rogers, so far, none. I guess even for this crowd, it'd be too embarrassing to vote for me since it's my show and my poll, you know?
And your website. Be a little dishonest, maybe.
No, not necessarily. I'm sure we got people trolling on our website who hate me and you and all of us like poison. And they're probably doing like sticking pins in a voodoo doll right now. Oh, man. Opponent outs GOP candidate for Florida governor. I mean, everybody knows. It's like Miss Foley. Everybody who knew anybody knew that Miss Foley was, you know, a queen. We didn't know about those emails and about that stuff. Oh, Daniel Smith's funeral, by the way, was held 6 weeks after he died. Anybody care about Anna Nicole?
No.
Good. In 1985, Max Lynn participated in a 3-month program called Leadership St. Pete that focuses on grooming future leaders in business and politics. One of his classmates in the program was Charlie Crist, who is now Florida's Attorney General and the Republican nominee for governor. And he's going to be your next governor, by the way. That's the bad news. Lynn, who's running against Crist on the Reform Party ticket, said there were only about 20 people in that 1985 class. So you got to know everybody. He said class rhymes with ass. You can't spell class without ass. According to Lynn, during the course of conversations with Crist, he learned that the future Attorney General was gay. The two talked about what would happen if Crist's sexual orientation comes out during a political campaign, Lynn said. Lynn kept quiet about Crist's supposed gay secret for more than 20 years until he launched his third-party bid for governor. Then on October 11th, National Coming Out Day, Lynn outed Crist on WFTL, a South Florida radio show. Woo! Charlie, come out from wherever you are, Lynn said on the radio show. Crist has repeatedly denied rumors that he is gay. When Miami radio host the grotesque Jim DeFetus asked Crist if he was gay in July, Crist responded, "The point is I'm not. There's the answer. How do you like it? Not that there's anything wrong with that, as they say on Seinfeld, but I just happen not to be," said. Guess what? In January 2005, Crist denied rumors that he's gay during an interview on WQYK, a country music radio station in Tampa. I bet you they were preparing the lynch mob in Lutz. And what's the other place? Temple Terrace. During the interview, Dave McKay, co-host of WQYK's Randy and Dave show, asked Crist, "Are you a homo?" Crist responded, "No, man. No, I love women. I mean, they're wonderful." Crist, 49, was married for 7 months in 1979, but otherwise has lived a single life. Repeated calls to Crist's campaign headquarters last 2 weeks were not returned. In an interview last week, Lynn stood by the statements he made about Crist on the radio show. He said he was a registered Republican for 20 years before recently switching to become an independent. He said he contributed money and did volunteer fundraising for 2 of Crist's past campaigns, including his unsuccessful bid for the U.S. Senate in 1998. Lynn claimed that Crist's sexual orientation is an open secret in Tallahassee, much like Foley's was. In my opinion, it's widely known throughout the Republican Party that Crist is gay, he said. Well, it's widely known throughout this audience, too, because I've been telling you that for a long time. Haven't I been telling you that, just like I did about Miss Foley?
100 years.
And they don't listen to me. You know, no matter what the hell I say, it's like, "Oh, yeah, that Neil's really funny. Oh, what a sense of humor. He thinks everybody is gay." Oh, no, you're the one that says that.
Yeah.
You're the one always saying that.
Right.
933 votes. Who have I ever accused of being gay who's a hetero?
No, I'd
Maybe one. Huh?
Gay people think that everybody's gay, and they just won't admit it.
Maybe it's wishful thinking.
what I'm talking about.
And I never did watch, speaking of that, I never watched either one of these Spider-Men that you sent me.
Whatever. Just leave them over there. I'd much rather that you watch, what's it called? That movie that I keep trying to get you to watch, not Schindler's List, Of Mice and Men.
Is James Franco in it?
No.
Oh.
Just good actors.
26. Are you saying he's not a good actor now just because he looks pretty good?
He's a fine actor, but that's all Of Mice and Men has to offer. Good story and good
just
actors.
Just to piss you off, I'm going to watch Spider-Man.
All right.
I'm not going to watch Of Mice and Men. I'm not going to watch Schindler's List. And I'm not going to definitely watch, what's that prison movie?
Shawshank.
You should.
No. It's good.
27 past 10 at 560 QM. I've been doing business with our friends at Lou Back Road Chevrolet for over 20 years. I bet you I've bought about at least 50,000 cars over there. Not that I would exaggerate. In fact, I got 2 beautiful Corvettes from them right now, and I love them when I'm home to drive them, which I was not too many days ago. Their service, their salespeople, and selection of cars are top-notch, and their prices cannot be beat in South Florida. I guarantee you they've always taken great care of me, which is why I always go back to them. You can get that same spectacular treatment just like I've been getting for over 20 years now at Lou Back Road. And right now, it's Lou Back Road Chevrolet's Race to 1,000 for the first time in its history. They have the largest selection of new and used cars, including the hot new Corvettes, the ultimate sports car, take it from me, trucks, SUVs, and minivans anywhere around. They've also got used cars starting at $39.95, everyone backed by a Carfax guarantee, too. Lou Back Road is out to sell 1,000 cars this month, and they're still staying open until midnight every night to get to that 1,000 number. Forget the price. Make them an offer, and they'll beat any deal. More money for your trade, 0% financing, rebates of up to $6,000. Whatever it takes, they'll make you a deal, an offer you can't refuse. Only at Lou Back Road Chevrolet with 2 great locations for you. They're in Pompano Beach, a quarter mile west of I-95, not far from Pompano Park, by the way, and in Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Sawgrass Expressway. Don't forget, Lou Back Road's staying open till midnight every night, so get your ass over to Lou Back Road right now and get the best deal you ever heard of in your life on a new Chevy. You can't beat it anywheres. Or check them out on the wicked web at LouBackRoad.com. And, of course, you're wondering, how do you spell that? BACHRODT. Got it?
Got it.
LouBackRoad.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 AM.
LONPAYSUCKS.
Here's George.
Huh?
It's you.
Hey, Skip, who is gonna pitch? How about that guy?
It's you.
Hey, Skip, who is gonna pitch? How about that guy up there in section 36? He's got a Mets jersey on and he brought his own glove. You better tell your offense to score 1,000,000 runs. After getting paid, you're on the injured list. Rotations all played out. Willie and the Mets. The regular season was wonderful. Now Willie, it's plain to see. Your pitching staff makes a laugh. Won't be around to play the Yankees. Oh no. Willie and the Mets.
Or the Tigers, for that matter.
Willie and the Mets.
Willie or Won't, that's the question. Remember Rambling Willie, driven by the great Bob Farrington? I'm sure you don't.
No.
10:33, 27 before the hour at 560 WQAM. Here's those numbers again. I'm sure George went into a great length on these on Friday night.
Spent at least 5 minutes on it.
Oh. Men, 25 to 54, our most coveted demographic. 6 a.m. to midnight overall. Look at that. QM was 13th. We dropped from, look at that, to 10th. And Waxy, the ticket, was went from 25th to 20th. They're on the move thanks to that bogus August. I mean, they're really doing it. In the morning, oh, Jesus, God almighty. QM went from a 2.6. Now, these previous numbers, are those in the spring book? Is that what that means, to the summer book? Is that what we're...
That is correct.
Oh. In the spring, QM had a 2.6 in men, and then to a 2.1 in the summertime, from number 15 to number 18.
It's a sports show.
Oh, my God. Waxy, on the other hand, the ticket went from a 1.5, that's Joe Rose, little dog, to a 2.6. 2.6 to a 2.1, they kicked our ass. 11th. We were 18, they were tied for 11th in the morning. Middays, thanks mostly to George. We went from a 6.9 in the spring to a 6.4 in the summer book. Again, from number 1 to number 1. And Clarence writes on here, congrats, with several exclamation points, as if, like he really feels that way. He's pissed off because the sports segments were like in the toilet. Waxy Midday making a real move from a 1.1 to a 1.8. From 24th to tied for 17th. Yeah, we think we're making some inroads in Midday. Yeah. 3 to 7 in the afternoon, QM dropped from a 2.8 to a 2.3. 16th tied to 18th tied. Number 18, just like in the morning, 18. We're number 18, damn it, in men. How could you be doing a sports station and you're number 18?
Sorry?
In fact, you know something I just noticed?
What?
Neither one of the two stations in any day part except us being number 1 in midday. Neither one of the two stations cracked the top 10 in men any day part. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
But it's sports talk radio, baby. And now we got that new station coming on, the station for men. What is that, 200 on the dial?
What?
Yeah, there's a new station. It's Man Talk. You haven't read about that? You better start keeping up on your radio stuff, mister. You've been out of the radio business too long.
Nah, I'm out of the loop.
3 to 7, QM28 dropped to a 2.3, 16 tied to 18 tied, and Waxy 1.7 to a 1.9. We still edged them out. Tied for 22nd, all the way up to number 20, that Dan LeBastard. And then at night, thanks to the Marlins, we goosed up a little bit. We butched up.
And you're always knocking my man Dave.
He sucks. 1.5 to a 3.0. It's got nothing to do with your man Dave. If Mickey Mouse was doing the games, they would have made a nice run there, okay, at the end, as you know. They damn near made the wild card. Well, not. They gave it a shot. From number 22 at night to number 13. Just wait till you see those Panther numbers. Waxy, on the other hand, went from a 0.9 at night to a 0.6, 25th to 27th. They're falling off the map. I thought that Rogers guy they had on tonight, you know what their problem is? They got the wrong Rogers guy on the air. That's their problem. Do we have any idea who that guy is they got on? No. Does anybody else have any idea?
No.
Does anybody care?
No.
Does anybody know what time it is? Okay, so that's the numbers. There's nothing more to be said. Okay, we're number 1 in midday again. Thank you very much, by the way, everybody who's putting up with us.
Right.
And morning and afternoon, we're number 18 in men. What did I tell you about these people? They sat around like they were paralyzed month after month after month, and I kept saying, when are they going to do something? What are they going to do? Are they going to wait for the whole audience to disappear? And I think the answer was clearly yes. Excellent job, by the way, Joe. Hell of a job. They got other things to worry about, okay? They got to goose up that billing for the Beasleys. They can't worry about, like, numbers and stuff like that. Speaking of numbers, Cheryl Kagan, a former Maryland Democratic legislator, whatever that is, was shocked when she opened her mail Wednesday morning. Inside, she discovered 3 computer disks. With them was an anonymous letter saying the disk contained the secret source code for vote counting that could be used to alter the votes cast through Maryland's new electronic voting machines, man. They're bad machines, man. My understanding is that with these disks, a malicious person could skew the outcome of an election, Kagan said. Or is that screw or skew? Same difference. Diebold, the company that makes the voting machines, told ABC News these disks do not alter the security of the Diebold touchscreen system in any way because election workers can set their own passwords. But ABC News has obtained an independent report commissioned by the state of Maryland and conducted by Science Applications International Corp., revealing that the original Diebold factory passwords are still being used on many voting machines, man. The study also shows myriad other security flaws, including administrative override passwords that cannot be changed by local officials, but can be used by hackers or those who've seen the disks. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Computer experts and government officials have voiced serious concerns that if these machines malfunction, no paper record will exist for a recount. Even worse is the fear that an election could be hacked. Certainly just tweaking a few votes in a couple of states could radically change the outcome of our policies for the coming years, they'd be saying. I just mentioned that in passing, okay, for those of you who are a little bit cynical and don't trust your freaking crooked-ass government. And there's nothing worse than a crooked ass. How we doing on that poll? We got to 1,000 yet?
I think so.
No, we don't. 972.
Oh, close.
I think we'll get there by the top of the hour. It's 22 before 11. Now, listen, I want you to write this down on your wrist. I want you to put it on bulletin boards. I want you to write it on tea room walls all over town. Now, what's the worst? Because obviously the morning guys, Kenny Walker got sandbagged. Is it worse getting sandbagged at it or teabagged at it?
Oh,
That's the question.
I'll take the sandbag, thank you.
Oh. By the way, I still don't have any votes. 972. Oh, and guess what arrived on Friday at Gulfstream? Speaking
Slot
of good
machines.
machines, man. Yeah, you know about that. Did you talk about that?
No.
You been over there yet?
No.
If I was you, I'd be standing there knocking on the door waiting with a fistful of nickels. That's about all you can handle.
I'll bring a roll.
Yeah, bring a couple of rolls of toilet paper. Hey, here's some good news for you. It's Dollar Mattress's birthday. Guess which birthday it is?
About 30, man.
That's it. And to celebrate, Dollar Mattress and Simmons are offering the lowest price of the year on the best-selling Simmons Beauty Rest Pillow Top. You can choose from South Florida's biggest selection of Simmons Beauty Rest, and you get same-day delivery, too. If you're finally ready to get a good night's sleep for months and years to come, do the smart thing like I've been doing for years. Call Dial a Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS for factory direct prices and award-winning service. No nonsense, no BS, no come-ons, no gimmicks. Dial a Mattress gives you 12 months financing, and with Dial a Mattress, you just choose the date and time you want your new mattress delivered. That 2-hour window, 7 days a week from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, and guess what? They show up, even on the very same day that you call. And Dial a Mattress delivers every time. That's why Dial a Mattress continues to be ranked #1 in the world of customer satisfaction, and why all of us at QAM use Dial a Mattress on the web, dialamattress.com, or make that one easy call. They'll be there knocking on your door in no time at all. 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES. Leave off the last S because it stands for Stupendous Savings.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Sports is promo mode. 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 Sports is promo mode.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, my drug is served in a mug. Chamomile. Instead of doing lines, I drink sleepy time chamomile.
You know where you drink that? You drink it in the tea room.
Let it steep, let it steep, let it steep. Chamomile. If you're getting old and you're feeling cold, chamomile. Stressed and you need some rest, chamomile. Let it steep, let it steep, let it steep, chamomile.
I got a vote. That's the good news. I finally got one vote on there. They would never listen to me under penalty of death, and of course they couldn't possibly be listening today.
And they certainly weren't responding to anything that you said by
998. I got one vote. You, by the way, got 61.
Oh, I know. It's my fan club weighing in.
Is that what it is? They're voting over and over again. I can smell it, you know.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
But George still gets #1 in the summer book, and the rest of the station is in the toilet. Speaking of in the toilet, the story that you just faxed me on this very primitive fax machine I got so that I have something this morning.
Your brother.
I guess I can make do. Well, the other one was a brother, too, but it was like a real machine man. This one is like Edison's first. And each page very slowly. Have you ever seen one like this? It's not a laser printer. It's just one of those old-fashioned...
Dot matrix, baby, or whatever.
Is that what it is?
Bubble jet, who knows?
Who knows what it is? Piece of crap. Oh, and speaking of that, humble dung gets its day in the sun at Miami's Metro Zoo. I don't even know if we can read this story, although it's in USA Today.
There's another page that I hung on to.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
This is enough crap.
Figured.
It says cranes use it for courtship, hippos to mark territory, and frogs for camouflage. Humans mostly flush it as fast as they can. A new exhibit at the Miami Metro Zoo is set to open minds about this omnipresent, versatile, little-loved yet practical byproduct of life on Earth. It's called The Scoop on Poop. Caca. It's based on a book Canadian author and photographer Wayne Lynch wrote about the way animals and humans use fecal matter. Didn't he used to be on a show on the Worst Team? Fecal. In a series of interactive exhibits, kids and adults learn more than they ever dreamed there was to know about poop. The Masai of Kenya, believe it, and northern Tanzania use it to cover up their houses. I see. I'll stay away from here. People in parts of Asia, that explains why some of those people smell like that. People in parts of Asia and South America use it as fuel or fertilizer. Animals have infinite uses for it. You can even find out how long it would take an African elephant, one of the animal kingdom's most prolific poopers, to excrete the equivalent of your body weight. The average time for for 3 recent visitors, 10 hours. This is a cool message. We're talking about something that everybody does, but nobody talks about, said Zoo spokesman Ron McGill. Hopefully the focus on feces will have health benefits. Let's have a show like that. We've got all these other specialty shows on the weekend. How about focus on feces?
Sure. What are you talking about? Some of us talk about it all the time.
There you go. In other words, we really know our... That's it. It says we shouldn't be so frightened of it. That's what Ron McGill said. It was a real kinky... he's a pervert. If it wasn't for our aversion to poop, we wouldn't have so many people dying from colon cancer. People are frightened to do a colorectal exam, he said. A species of Nepalese crane impresses its mate by pitching buffalo chips in the air. Tosses them right up in the air. A type of frog camouflages itself by changing color so it looks like poop to make sure nobody steps on it, I guess, huh? Well, whatever. Oh, look at this. Howard Stern worldwide free trial 2 days only.
Ooh.
As they're desperate to try to sign up some more people on Sirius.
Ooh.
Yeah. How about if they paid me to listen to it? Would I listen? No. How about you?
No. Well, how much?
Depends on how much.
Yeah.
We got 1,008 votes. It's not even 11 o'clock yet. We got 12 minutes to go. We got 1,008 votes. Oh! Man, we are kicking big, fat, speaking of that story in Ron McGill, big, fat, smelly ass. How do you like that? Wow.
Rectum.
Speaking of that, you can play that trumpet again. Fanfare accompanies slots arrival at Gulfstream. Florida's first slot machines arrived at Gulfstream Park Racing Casino in Hallandale Beach on Friday. The venue expects to open in mid-November. And it's got a photo here with this story in the Herald. Showgirl Susan Porter stands next to 5 of the first gambling slot machines being delivered to Gulfstream Park in Hallandale. And there are like machines, man. They're not Wheel of Fortune, which is just as well. I don't know what the hell they are. I can't really see. Did you see the picture?
They were on the news, but I couldn't make out what they were. They had like plastic over them.
Slot machines made a splashy South Florida debut Friday, flanked by 2-tail showgirls, a tall tail, in clear heels and feathered headdresses. The gleaming one-armed bandits. Oh, I just love that, one-armed bandits. Began arriving at Gulfstream Racing and the casino in Hallandale Beach Friday, and officials celebrated with a media feast that included really a honeydew melon shaped like a horse's head.
Honeydew.
The Class 3 slot machines, just like the ones in Vegas, in other words, real ones, honest to God, not fake make-believe ones, you know, are expected to open for gambling by mid-November. We are weeks and days away, said Gulfstream Park President Paul McCucci, dapper in a pinstripe suit. They say McCucci. We are very excited. As you can see, the games are here. Moments earlier, McCucci slid the steel doors open of a semi-trailer, announced to the crowd the first real slots to Florida. I bet you Jeb Bush is having wild diarrhea, speaking of that other story. I bet you he's doing the Green Apple Quick Step. Machines with names such as Double Easy Money and Golden Chariots rolled into the renovated facility, and workers ripped off the blue plastic wrapping, preparing them for their publicity shots. Publicity shots for the slots. You ready for that? The first machines crossed the state line at 1:25 Friday morning, and nearly 400 slots arrived before the end of the day, marking the start of a new era in Florida gambling. Gaming experts claim that Class 3 machines, in which players compete against individual machines, offer better odds than the Class 2 machines available for play at Seminole and Miccosukee casinos, where players compete against each other in a collective bingo system, and I still don't understand it. Gulfstream eventually will have 1,500 slots, but only 516 will be installed by January, the start of the horse racing season. More than a year after Broward voters agreed to allow slot machines at pari-mutuel venues, Friday's shipment was the first to arrive. Each spot, Dania Highlight, Gulfstream Park, Isla Capri Racino at Pompano Park, Harness in Pompano Beach, and Mardi Gras Racetrack and Gaming Center in Hallandale mandated to give half their slots revenue to benefit education in Florida. Mardi Gras expects his first machines today, man. I keep peering out the window for some hot machines. Broward County, Hallandale Beach, Dania Beach, and Pompano Beach also will receive a portion of the profits. The showgirls were there to increase the odds of big media play, and they were happy to do it. Showgirl Teresa Kassler of Plantation said it was an honor to be part of Friday's event. For adults to get out and go play and benefit our children, I think that's ideal, she said, mother of 5-year-old Brennan Black. Fellow showgirl Susan Porter said slots will bring more jobs and tourists to the area. I think it's going to be a good thing for Florida, said Porter, who's from Dania Beach. Neither of the women were seen sampling the food, not even the mini blueberry and poppy seed muffins or the croissants. Ooh, that sounds good. Poppy seed muffins. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, actually.
Did you guys eat yet?
Yeah, man, we had bacon and fish.
Piped-in music and fancy fountains added to the ambiance. This is a new Gulfstream, McCucci said. I feel real comfortable. It's going to be a fantastic destination, he said. And I was at Pompano Park on Saturday night, unbeknownst to you. Mm-hmm. Was it Falls View on Wednesday and Thursday? I get around, man. I spread my money around. I didn't make one bet at Pompano, by the way. Sat there and had a nice meal with my good friend Dick Feinberg, formerly of Pompano Park. Your buddy Doug Thompson's got a column today. Time to retake control of a place called America. Election day is 2 weeks from tomorrow. Oh! I bet you Josh is going to vote. Not.
There you go. Not.
Ask me if I'm voting. Absentee.
No.
No. Well, what am I going to vote for? What am I going to vote for?
I don't know. Write something in. Lyndon LaRouche.
How about Barack Obama?
There you go.
What did I tell you about him, man? He is everywhere. He's like that story on the poop, man. He's everywhere. I love Barack Obama.
Better him than Hillary.
Yeah, at least he's got a chance to win. He's the dark surprise, I think. He could be the dark horse. First of all, he's not that dark. Second of all, he's very articulate. And thirdly, he's not Hillary. You're right. Oh, there's Mayor Bloomberg. You know the reason he's the mayor of New York? He's Jewish. Anyway, Doug Thompson writes, time to retake control of a place called America. Increasingly, it appears that only President George W. Bush and a handful of those paid to agree with his every move, word, and whim still think the U.S. can prevail in this failed Iraq war. And most of the articles, by the way, say we lost already, and we did. Doug says everyone else realizes the war, the country, and America's credibility at home and abroad is hopelessly lost. The only real question that remains is how much longer we continue this folly and how many more Americans must die before this shameful chapter in our history must end. Bush claims the war will be just a comma on history. Sadly, this comma is a deadly and expensive one, costing more American lives than the 9/11 terrorist attacks, along with the lives of many more thousands of Iraqi civilians and billions upon billions of taxpayer funds. This comma stands as testament to Bush's callous disregard for human life, the rule of law, truth, dignity, or morality. It's a war waged on lies, fought through deception, and continued by ignoring reality. It's a war that threatens to outweigh Vietnam in shame and damage to the American psyche, one that may forever cast this country as an international bully with no regard for human rights. We've become a nation that routinely lies to its allies, disregards the laws that would demand and others obey, and promotes torture and suffering as matters of policy. Our name, once revered by many in other nations, is now reviled on the world stage, spat upon by those who place America and Bush in the same league as Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler. If the Iraq war is just a comma on history, then Bush is the period, a period of dishonesty, distrust, and dishonor. Those of us who served our country once displayed the artifacts of that service with pride on our walls. Now we pack them away in boxes hidden from view, replaced with our shame. Like those who tossed their medals over the White House fence at the height of the Vietnam debacle, we feel betrayed by a government that brought dishonor on all who served this nation's causes. In theory, America still belongs to the people, and we the people must take it back from the despots who control our government and threaten to destroy the foundations of a once great nation, writes Doug Thompson. He says, we start in 2 weeks at the polls, 2 weeks from tomorrow, voting to throw out any incumbent who supports the illegal and immoral acts of the Bush administration. We must ignore those who recently modified their positions to try to woo votes and look at their past records and actions while ignoring their political lies. If we can accomplish that, then we can concentrate on the next 2 years, building a grassroots effort to retake control of the executive branch of government with somebody who remember the White House is the people's home, not a palace for a king or dictator. Our country is almost lost, but I'm not ready to give up. Hopefully neither are you, writes Doug Thompson, although I'm not too sure. It sounds to me like he gave up a long time ago. Doesn't it sound like that?
Does sound like that. Like they got to him.
They sure got to him, man. That's why he went hiding in the hills. But at least he's back on there writing rants and ranting and raving almost every day. You go, Dougie. We'll bring you some flowers, okay? We'll drop a couple of daffodils on your tombstone. So I guess, can we have it like a tombstone? Remember we did the snooze cruise?
Sure.
Maybe we could have one for sports talk. We have like although Clarence, maybe that'll be on the day Clarence gets canned. Hey, you're out, Clarence. You're out, sweetheart. Bye-bye. Don't you think he's going to get his ass fired?
No.
See, this is what happened. Man, we got the break to do. I don't want to spend a lot of time rehashing about how Joe Bell handed the keys to the kingdom to an overgrown sports nerd child, and now we're number 18 in men in the morning and in the afternoon. And thank God for us. You know what I'm saying? In spite of what they say in the hallway.
We're number one, damn it!
In spite of Bo Camper trashing us out there in the hallway. And, oh, they're the anti-sports crowd. Yeah, well, we got numbers, okay, sweetheart? Number 18, my fat ass. God, 18 in men. Who would have thunk it, as they say? And boy, I hate people who say who'd have thunk it. Like, who'd have thunk the Bucks would have come back and won that game yesterday? Who'd have thunk the Dolphins, as bad as they are, could lose to the Packers? Oh, my God, the Packers! Holy moly, rat man. Or as they said in The Shining, holy moly, scat man. He was in it. He's still dead, by the way. He's still dead.
Yes, yeah, he is. That's too bad.
He showed up there at the cabin at the wrong time. 10:57 at 560 WQAM. I've been telling you for a long time, over 21 years I've used Dry Concepts in my home. And when I was home, as a matter of fact, they had been there just a few weeks before when I was down here in Florida. And my carpets looked just like I had brand new laid right there on the floor all over the house. I would never trust my carpets to anybody else, and neither should you. Just because you can't see the dirt and the schmutz and mold in your carpet doesn't mean it's not there, because believe you me, it's in there. And in South Florida, people tend to go long periods of time without opening the windows. Makes it even worse. More reasons to dry clean your carpets on a regular basis and call our good friends, our paisans at Dry Concepts. Your carpets last longer because by keeping it dry clean, it stays cleaner longer, comes out softer, the colors come out looking brighter, the house smells lemony fresh. It's a real machaya, as they say in India. Dry Concepts has got a plan to make frequent cleaning easy at a fraction of the cost of regular cleaning. You'll never have a dirty carpet again using Dry Concepts. In Broward, here's that number to call, 954-370-7778. Tell them that old coot Neil Rogers told you to call. They'll get a real hoot out of the old coot. 954-370-7778. Remember Hoot Gibson? Hoot? He's dead. And in Dayton, Palm Beach, call Dry Concepts toll-free 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071. 888-848-5071.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
No.
No Sodom's hiding a lot more than guns.
I'm dying over here.
They say they're weapons of mass destruction. I say we send a couple megatons, bomb Iraq.
Oh!
In the Gulf War, we let him off the hook. I think it's time to give his butt a whoop.
Wrecked him.
So it's time to load those B-1s up. Bomb Iraq.
All right.
Bomb Iraq. Till there's nothing left to see. Bomb Iraq. Till Saturn's 6 feet deep. Bomb Iraq. Blow up the creek. Bomb Iraq. And they say he's got some germs and chemicals that burn, and he might load them up on scuds. If we let us prepare, we better beware, because some of them scouts won't be done. Bomb Iraq.
I'm dying over here.
Bring it to an end. Bomb Iraq. Blow him up again. Bomb Iraq. Live on CNN. Bomb Iraq.
You could play Richie Valens in La Bamba, but that would be in bad taste.
Bomb Iraq.
Please don't.
We'll toss this stupid bomb. Bomb Iraq.
Una Bamba Grande.
From here to kiss control. Bomb Iraq.
I'll tell you one thing, boy. George sure did it this summer, and people from all around the building ought to be in there patting him on the back. Did you say Clarence came in and kissed you on the lips?
Well,
that was sweet.
Not on the lips.
Although we did notice that zit on the side of your head and probably came in and gave you a facial.
He offered.
I bet he did.
I said that's right. I like to do it myself.
1,067 votes. I got a vote. George has got 65. See, they're just busting your balls.
Oh, I know. That's all right.
What do you care? You got that big fat bonus. You can probably retire once you get that big bonus.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you have no idea what a nice feeling it is when you're sitting there at Woodbine losing your ass, which I was Saturday morning, although I did finally get even.
You're right about that.
1,500 on the line. No, seriously, sitting there and you get your thing buzzes, you know, and your BlackBerry too.
Mm-hmm.
And I reach in my pocket and I look and it's from Clarence and it says ratings. I thought, oh yeah, maybe this is the summer book. And sure enough, there were the highlights and the lowlights. The lowlights were Morning Drive, where we got beat by the guys across the street. Oh my God!
It's a sports show.
I like Kenny. He seems like a good guy, and you're telling me he is a good guy.
Very good guy.
Too bad that they've teabagged and sandbagged him. You know, he hasn't got a
They're
kind
going
of
to
chance
ding-dong
in
him
hell.
to death. He needs to lock the door after the show, or at least escape out the back.
Quit. Tell Clarence to go ding-dong, the witch is dead, and get lost, okay? What a jerk. What a jackass you are, Clarence, who was in there this morning, by the way. I guess he didn't get the memo. And by the way, if that fat boy don't stop giving my email address to everybody who's ever been born, you know. See, Bob Lassiter's wife, Mary, emailed me on Monday morning that he had passed away the previous Friday, so it would have been a week ago today. I got the email at home, and I sent her back a message and with my condolences, and I already was aware of that. Plus, I was reading the blog all the time, and even though he had stopped entries, I check it now and then. Mm-hmm. And she put his final entries on there. Did you look at it?
Yeah, and I read the final entries.
Why did you do that? It's
I read his final entry and how he was telling the people at the what it was at FAN, whatever it was. To go blow it out their ass? Yeah, wherever it was.
No, FLA.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right.
That they were preparing his my obituary, these bastards.
So obviously I was already well aware of that. I didn't need Fat Boy giving my email address to Tom Denenberg, although I don't mind hearing from Tom. He's over in Tampa now with all the goyim. But this is Fat Boy at work again, okay? In fact, you should have, when Muff was in there this morning, you should have reminded me to tell her to quit giving out my email address.
I think he learned his lesson. Too late, but...
Yeah, too late. Too late, Duffmeister. You silly person. You
fairy.
Now, I got an article here that a lot of people are going to say, oh, boy, that sounds really paranoid to me. It's very long. I don't have time for it. From prisonplanet.com, you know how paranoid they are?
Sure.
And the person who wrote it, her name is Sorcha Fal. For just a second there, I thought it said Fachel. You're disgusting. You really are. You're grotesque and disgusting. You're never going to stop. That's the thing with you. No wonder your wife hates you like poison. I guarantee you, man, if she's making you any lime jello, I guarantee you there's Presto antifreeze in there. Guaranteed. It's a matter of time now. That's why you're sick all the time. She's putting that Presto antifreeze in your lime jello.
There's no question. Ever since I got that life insurance policy.
You know what I'm thinking of right now?
Everything's
Ice cream.
Tasting funny. No, don't do it.
It's Duff's fault because he told us about Jackson's is going to bring you guys a bunch of ice cream very soon.
He planted that seed.
I'm thinking about ice. I'm thinking about Haagen-Dazs banana nut.
Don't do it. You nut.
But even better than that, I'm thinking about maybe a Breyers hot fudge sundae on chocolate marshmallow, maybe on Rocky Road.
You're going to die up there.
Well, you see, now when Bob passed away, and after having read all those horrible things, his entries and his long, grotesque death from diabetes and kidney failure and all that stuff, and losing a lot of his vision and having part of his foot chopped off, you would have thought that an old fat diabetic like me would have learned a lesson, wouldn't you?
No, not you addicts.
We're addicted to sugar, baby. We're addicted. Azúcar. Like, what's her name would say? Celia Cruz. Isn't that what she would say?
She would say
I am Celia Cruz and I am dead now, but I remember when I was alive. I will let you do the woman with the
Esa negrita que va caminando, esa negrita tiene su tumbao, y cuando la gente la va mirando, ella baila de lado, bien apretado, apretado, apretado. La negra tiene tumbao. Azúcar, azúcar.
See, there it is. I was looking for azúcar. Sweet. That's just a rip-off on Pharrell, that's all. So anyway, did you ever get that package he sent?
Beg your pardon?
U.S. Army announces readiness for a total military takeover of America. It's on our website. It was on yesterday's. It's still on there, I'm sure. You put something unbelievable like that on there, and it gets, a moderate amount of reads, but if you put the Mark Foley, these salacious emails on there with those teenage boys, we get over 1,000 people on there. I think we had like 1,200 people read that day. We should only have 1,200 people reading at least one of our stories on the website every day, but we don't, because what's this got to do with sex, huh? I'm just going to read a little part of it. Russian intelligence analysts are reporting that final steps toward a full military dictatorship in the U.S. have been taken, with the U.S. Army announcing USR North. Now, see, that's a typo. I knew it was. USA North has now reached full operational capacity and is now ready to execute Homeland Defense and defense support of civil authorities missions and conduct the Army-to-Army portion of the theater cooperation mission with Canada and Mexico. I'm staying right here. According to these reports, the first of the USA North plans for the total military takeover of the U.S. from its few remaining civilian overseers rests with a new series of draconian laws recently enacted by their top military leaders and which, among other things, suspends the right of habeas corpus for Americans and which the American military leaders have ordered their courts to disallow. And as we can read, as reported by the Washington Post News Service in their article titled Court Total Lacks Power in Detainees Cases, which says, moving quickly to implement the bill signed by President Bush this week that authorizes military trials of enemy combatants, the administration has formally notified the U.S. District Court that it no longer has jurisdiction to consider hundreds of habeas corpus petitions filed by inmates at Gitmo.
Congratulations. Claim your special reward for becoming...
Oh, sorry about that.
What was that?
The computer. A pop-up came up.
Beyond those already imprisoned at Gitmo or elsewhere, the law applies to all non-U.S. citizens, including permanent U.S. residents, George.
Uh-oh.
Habeas corpus, a Latin term meaning you have the body. Oh, God. I'd like to say that to so many people. You have the body. Can I have it? No. Don't touch, old man. Get out of here. It's one of the oldest principles of English and American law. I see so many really amazingly, tantalizing people. I just want to reach out and just grab them. Just a little feel, that's all. It requires the government to show a legal basis for holding a prisoner. Not being fully explained to the American people, however, that the new draft... What's wrong with little feel, huh? It feels good to me. Maybe it don't feel good to them. Who wants to get felled up by a dirty old man?
Priest said he
liked it. He liked it.
Hey, Mikey.
It seemed like he liked it. And how did this old Getchke priest wind up over there in Malta? That's what I would like to know as they continue moving around like pieces on a chessboard. Not being fully explained to the American people, however, are that these new draconian laws do in fact have a direct impact upon each of them, and is explained by an American dissident group called the Future of Freedom Foundation, and in their article titled Jose Padilla and the Military Commissions Act states, Anyone who hoped that the U.S. military detention of Americans accused of terrorism expired with the transfer of American citizen Jose Padilla from military custody to Justice Department custody have seen their hopes dashed by the Military Commissions Act that the President signed into law yesterday, meaning last week. Although the act limits to foreign citizens the use of military tribunals and the denial of habeas corpus, any person, including American citizens, can still be labeled and treated as an unlawful enemy combatant in the so-called war on terrorism. What does that mean for the American people? It means the same thing it did for Jose Padilla, who used to be Jose Padilla. You'll recall that Padilla was arrested in Chicago for terrorism and transferred to military custody, where, according to Padilla, he was tortured and involuntarily injected with drugs. The government's position is that since the entire world is a battlefield in which the war on terrorism is being waged, U.S. officials now have the power to arrest any American suspected of terrorism, place him in military custody, and subject him to the same unlawful enemy combatant treatment that Padilla received until the war on terrorism has finally been won, no matter how long that takes. Kyle Busch. How do you like that? The whole article's on our website, and you can either read that or read about, Mark Foley going, And also, I heard a little blurb they were saying yesterday, which we certainly haven't seen too much more. We saw that one kid they didn't have sex with till he was 21, one page.
Right.
Now they're saying there was a whole series of these pages. He was courting and schmoozing and whining and dining when they were 16, and he groomed them until they were of legal age 18, probably checking ID and birthdays, and then once they were legal age, he was having sex with them. How come we didn't hear more about that?
Well, because you didn't tell us more about it.
No. Well, we'll dig up a whole bunch of stuff, and if we can't find it, we'll just make it up. How do you like that?
All right.
By the way, did you know that Charlie Crist is gay? Not that there's any problem with that, except with his right-wing constituents. Wait till they found out that they elected a gay governor. Woo! Maybe Miss Foley can move in with some of his boyfriends in the governor's mansion along with them. They can have some, parties in there. Gay old time. Isn't that what the GOP stands for, the gay old party?
Mm-hmm. It does now.
14 after 11 at 560 WQM. I've been doing business with my friends Greg Nelson and all the good people at Lou Back Road Chevrolet for over 20 years. I still have 2 Corvettes from them, which I drove when I was home, both of them, as a matter of fact. I actually got to drive one to the garage. And, man, what's not to like? The service at Lou Back Road, the salespeople, selection of cars are top-notch. And trust me when I tell you, their prices cannot be beat anywhere in town. They've always taken great care of me, and they'll give you the same fantastic service like I've been getting for over 20 years. And right now, it's Lou Back Road Chevy's Race to 1,000 for the first time in its history. They have the biggest selection of new and used cars, including the hot new Corvettes, the ultimate sports car. It's like driving a fast Cadillac, man. It's unbelievable. They got your trucks, your SUVs and minivans, the biggest selection anywhere around. They've also got used cars starting at just $39.95, every one of them backed by a Carfax guarantee. Now, Lou Back Road is out to sell 1,000 cars this month, and they're staying open till midnight every night to get to that 1,000 number. Forget the price. Make them an offer they can't refuse, and they'll beat any deal you ever heard of. More money for your trade, 0% financing, rebates of up to $6,000. Whatever it takes, they'll get it done. Only at Lou Back Road Chevy with 2 locations for you. In Pompano Beach, a quarter-mile west of I-95. Look for that big, gigantic American flag. You know where it is. And at Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Sawgrass Expressway. And don't forget, Lou Back Road is staying open till midnight every night. So get your fat ass over to Lou Back Road right now. Get the best deal on a new Chevy you've ever gotten in your life. Or check them on the web at LouBackroad.com. That's BACHRODT, LouBackroad.com.
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
All right.
Oh, your fax is coming. It'll be done by the time this bit is over. Maybe. Oh, and there's another fax page coming, man. By the year 2525, that's going to pop out of that thing. Why did I buy this thing, you know? It was cheap.
Because it was cheap, yeah.
It was cheap, and I needed something to replace that other thing that crapped out. Plus, everybody tells me that those brother what is it?
MF.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. MFC 4800. They break down like every 5 minutes.
I don't know anything about this.
Let's see. That's right. Daylight savings time is this weekend. It's a damn good thing it wasn't this past weekend. Would I have been late or would I have been early?
I can never keep track.
We have to turn the clock back, right?
Yeah.
So I would have been an hour late. I would have thought it was like, I don't know. I can't figure this out.
It's a damn good
Anyway, just forget about it, okay? It's too complex on a Monday morning for me. I can't handle it. Fax says, welcome back. It's coming up on that time of year again. Daylight time comes to an end on the last Sunday in October, this Sunday. On the last Sunday in October, clocks are set back 1 hour, 2 a.m. local time. And it goes on and on. This is so boring. This is so boring, and about how the history of daylight time in the U.S. God, is this boring? Who sent us this piece of crap? My God, I'm glad they reminded me, because would we have forgotten probably?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have.
So we thank you for that, but as far as the rest of this fax, this is ponderous, man. I'd rather listen to sports talk than this. I'd rather croak than listen to sports talk. In spite of what I hope Bo Camper comes in there and kicks your ass for ripping him.
He almost did.
Starting all these stories.
I was ready to run.
He is so full of it, man. They're the anti-sports show. Don't listen to those guys. Yeah, keep listening to his propaganda, okay? And you, too, can get a 1/8 share in men on a sports station. That's the thing that is just, it's mind-boggling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It would be like if you were doing a show on stamp collecting on philately.
Excuse me? You're giving me a hard time about the facials?
And you had no stamp collectors listening. This story here, I got to move this thing here.
I heard you were a philatelist.
Didn't you ever collect stamps as a kid? I thought every guy collected stamps as a child.
That's the kind of thing that would have required a little bit of money.
How about coins? Were you ever a numismatist?
Trust me, if I had any coins, they were quickly spent.
Yeah. Oh, see, they were quickly spent. There it goes back with that facial crap again. 1,111 votes on the poll, 11:11. And look at the time, it's 11:22. Not bad. And I bet you on daylight time we'd be 11:11. What do you think?
I'd imagine.
No. Well, which game are they showing out? Oh, it's the Patriots kicking the Buffalo ass.
Chains in the first possession of the game for the Patriots. 9 plays after the moving of those chains. Corey Brown moves the chains again, picking up 9 yards in the 38. And 2 plays later, here's Corey Dillon running like he is a young man.
Corey.
Dillon still has it. 6+ minutes, 14 plays.
What, did they kick their ass or what, Josh, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
They just spanked their butt.
That's the Bills,
How about that Luzman, man? He had some problems yesterday. They were all over him like stink on Greg. At any rate, Patriots are, 5-1 now? I think that's correct. And the Dolphins, who have a bye next week, and you know what? They're going to need that week badly until the new coaching staff comes in. You know who they play the following week?
Who's that?
The Bears. Uh-oh.
All the way across the field, his hamstrings are about to blow up right now. 74-yard return sets up Brady in nice territory. 3 plays later, Brady steps up the pocket and rolls around, and he's just going to eventually be smart about it and take the loss, but then the Bills aren't smart. So,
you can't hit Brady.
So, you said it doesn't matter who you are, right?
No, you can hit Joey Harrington like that, but you can't hit Brady.
Corey again, and he's going in. He's going to the house. If I ever hear anybody say, take it to the house, I'm going to shoot him right there, in the house, or outside the house, or behind the house. I cannot deal with these sports cliches, with this jargon. You know what I'm talking about, jargon?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'd be hating it.
What that word means.
Take it to the house. Oh, God. Get a freaking life.
I have no life.
The sports nerd crowd.
There to get some points, but there's a Santos Samuel.
Picked off, baby. That only good for the
Evans. 14-3.
Looks like another Patriot touchdown coming up any second. Anyway, you remember the Pope with that business about, they misunderstood. He wasn't sorry for what he said, but sorry that they were pissed off because they actually got what he was saying?
I'm sorry you're so sensitive.
A senior State Department diplomat apologized yesterday for having told the Arab satellite network Al Jazeera Saturday that there's a strong possibility history will show. Look, another touchdown.
Yeah, one thing he can do.
The Patriots, I can't believe it. That history will show the U.S. displayed arrogance and stupidity in its handling of the Iraq War. Tom Brady, there's Tommy. I'd sure like to get my hands on him, but boy, there's a long line ahead of me. Upon reading the transcript of my appearance on Al Jazeera, listen to this. Upon reading the transcript of my appearance on Al Jazeera, I realized that I seriously misspoke by using the phrase, there's been arrogance and stupidity by the U.S. in Iraq, Alberto Fernandez said in an email sent to reporters by the State Department and attributed to him. I misspoke. How do you like that?
Uh-huh.
I always like that, Nick Saban. See, I misspoke. This represents neither my views nor those of the State Department. I apologize, the statement said. Fernandez gave the gutter-based network a 35-minute interview from Washington, where he's director of the Office of Press and Public Diplomacy in the Bureau of Near East Affairs. His apology yesterday differed from a defense of his comments he made to CNN during an interview Saturday night. History will decide what role the U.S. played, he told Al Jazeera in Arabic based on CNN translations, and God willing, we try to do our best in Iraq. But I think there's a big possibility for extreme criticism, and because undoubtedly there was arrogance and stupidity from the U.S. in Iraq, he said. Fernandez told CNN he was replying to a question about how people will assess the U.S. in the future, and said he thought that was how the country would be judged. But then again, he says, I realized I seriously misspoke because they obviously made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Follow what I'm saying? Oh, there's the JETS.
Got the offense formation, too. 4 minutes to go in the period. Like the call. Justin McKenna.
But they just barely squeaked by the Owen Lifetime Lions, didn't they?
Yeah.
Lions are pathetic. And then again, a lot of bad teams. Although there were a lot of good games yesterday. Ended with the field goals right there and in, like Kansas City, San Diego, right?
Right.
Like Tampa Bay and Philadelphia, right when it looked like the Bucs did it again and did the old swoon. Can you imagine the people that must have been pouring out of that stadium there onto a Dale Mabry yesterday? Huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you have bailed out of there?
A lot of pissed off fans, yeah.
Oh, not again. Not again. And then all of a sudden, when you least expected it, and I saw that final score, and I said, that must be a mistake. And I thought they must have gotten a real quick 80 million yard field goal, and they did. 62 yards. Eat your heart out, Tom Dempsey. Is he dead or alive, Tom Dempsey? Do you know he had a wooden shoe?
I did, yes.
When he kicked that 63-yard field goal for the Saints? He had like one of them chopped off, like, well, whatever. 27 past 11. Let's start talking a lot more sports so we can get down there to like number 17 or number 18. Then we'll feel like more, like we belong. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing worse than feeling out of place.
I know.
Do you agree with that?
I would. I feel very out of place here.
Yeah, we're on the wrong station. Oh, sorry about that. Like I said, let's go on to 850 or 1800 on the dial, huh?
Sure.
Or let's get a new program director. We hate you, Clarence. Where are those numbers he was promising me, by the way?
The monthlies?
Yeah.
I don't know. Not here yet.
1,121 votes on the poll, and I got a pair now. Neil Rogers has a pair. Something or someone you would never listen to on radio. Religious program 395. Rush Limbaugh 244. Hip hop 132. Bill O'Reilly 99. George Rodriguez 70. Well, what is that? George Rodriguez 70 votes after the fantastic job that he's been doing.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
Sports Talk 50, Country Music 49. I wish I wouldn't have found that because I'm just obsessed with that. It's not the content, it's just the way he says it.
That's the thing about Scotty.
Country Music 49. I hate this poll, only 27, 2.4%. Air America 26. Jazz 13. Classical Music 12. Public Radio 2 and Neil Rogers, Solamente Dos. I got a dose. Trying to get rid of it. It's Lobster Fest back every Friday through Sunday at the Emerald Coast, the best Chinese buffet in South Florida with 3 locations for you. Sunrise, Pembroke Pines, and Sunny Isles. Over 100 different items featured on the Emerald Coast Amazing Buffet. 6 gourmet soups, New York steak, juicy and delicious, grilled to order the way you like it. Hand-carved prime rib, sushi, traditional Asian dishes, a salad bar, and a bar. And their dessert bar is really special. Weekends feature the 40-inch mouth-watering chocolate fountain. You can hand-dip your strawberries and other fruits, marshmallows, cheesecake, other decadent treats, and loads of milk chocolate for dessert. A perfect ending to a big feast at the Emerald Coast, which still uses only healthy cholesterol-free canola oil and never any MSG, no cornstarch, no crap. You'll never walk out of there with a headache. And right now, when you go in as a party of 4, ask for the Neil deal. You get $5.60 off your total check with 4 paying adults. $5.60, got it? Good. Emerald Coast open for lunch and dinner. Call 954-572-3822 for reservations. 954-572-3822. And don't forget, every day is a Neil Deal day. And Friday through Sunday, every weekend, it's Lobster Fest only at the amazing Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
Miami has the Dolphins, they're the worst football team. They flub the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're on the ground, that's where they'll stay, they're never in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking toilet bowl, 'cause they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, how many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Don't bet on them, you'll always lose. They don't know how to tackle. They don't know how to block. Their coaches ought to tell them to put Bengay in their jocks. Then they would run much faster, and even in defeat. When we go to the stadium, we'll see Miami Heat, and they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. The team that hasn't got a clue. Miami has the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have no fans. Just 50,000 sitting in the stands. They watch the game and all they do is moan and gripe and bitch. I wonder how Joe Robbie got to be so damn rich. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. I hear the crowd begin to boo. The Dolphins have Jay Fiedler. That quarterback's a Jew. Run down the field and he will throw a pass over you. He'll never win a Super Bowl. You shouldn't be surprised. When he gets cut, that doesn't mean that he was circumcised. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? About 30, man. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Jay calls his signals in Hebrew. The Dolphins have no defense and their offense is a joke. Like George Bush eating pretzels, you know they're gonna choke. They'll always disappoint you when they're in a playoff race, with fewer points than pockmarks on Huizinga's ugly face. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. Oh, what the hell? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Now they're through.
Playoffs, huh? Playoff this. Oh!
23 till noon at 560 WQM. You'll never guess in a million years who I just got another email message from. I'll give you one clue.
Not High Boy.
Yes.
I'm stunned at this point.
Why is that?
I'm shocked.
Don't you understand? His whole concept is just how annoying, how much he can agitate and aggravate. That's what he lives for. Besides eating, is aggravating and agitating.
He is truly a crazy stalker.
We hate you, High Boy. Don't you understand? Hate you. And when I say we, I'm talking about everybody associated with the show, past, present, and future. Hate, despise, go away. Don't darken my door. Don't darken my computer. Don't email. Don't extend your fat ass in this direction again.
So did he send you the monthlies?
No.
Oh.
No, this was about Lassiter again. He just won't stop. And this thing you just sent me, this Jim DeFetus column, which I got news for you. I've got really good eyesight, and I've got two lamps going in here all the time, Plus I got the window open and sunny and freezing.
Yeah, so you can't read it.
But if you think I can read this, I mean, you must be dreaming.
Too bad, because it was actually kind of cute for him.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I can't read it. I mean, I could, but it would be very difficult. And, I stumble and bumble and fumble enough as it is. Just with something that's got, ordinary size print. The print is the size of, the Mount Palomar telescope might, if you adjusted the focus real clearly, you might be able to get this. And plus the fact that it sucks. It's a bad copy. Although I guess I could find it somewhere if you think it's good enough to read.
Probably. I thought it was cute. It's about his a moment that he had with Catherine Harris. And
well, good, okay. And no, we're not promoting your show, Fats, okay? He is just... Did you see him when he was on TV, or did we discuss that?
Yeah, we discussed it.
Good God.
He has to tuck his gut into his socks.
Man.
Down so low.
He has got the most unbelievable... Plus, gut. Someone or something you would never listen to on radio, 1,157 votes, and religious programs, 411. Thank God for our heathen crowd. Thank God for people with enough common sense to realize about all the Bubba Mices and all the Getchkis out there. They were talking the other day about the history of the Sunnis and the Shiites. And you know what that's all about, the difference between those two sects?
The head of Muhammad and something?
Yeah, something to do with who Muhammad left his apartment building to, or some crap like that. And they couldn't agree on that, and as a result, they hate each other like poison, and they've been killing each other for 1,000 years, and it's great. Good old-time religion.
That sounds as stupid as who speaks for God, the Pope or, some other guy.
Religious program 411, Rush Limbaugh 252, hip-hop music 136, Bill O'Reilly 101. George Rodriguez, 73 votes. I can't believe this audience. They treat you just like the management always has, like crap.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
Sports Talk 51. Country Music 50. I hate this poll. Only 27, a mere 2.3%. Very low on a Richter scale for our usual malcontent audience. They like it. Air America 27. Jazz 13. That surprises me. I wouldn't listen to jazz if you paid me by the second, by the note.
No.
How about Mel Torme?
Speaking of scat.
Yep.
The Velvet Frog.
Classical Music 12. Public Radio 2. And Neil Rogers Solamente Dos. Cannot get rid of that bad dose.
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Again, Bob. Douche when you're done.
Alan Box was a normal man with a nice home, a lovely family, and a cushy job with his father-in-law's company. Normal, that is, until just 3 weeks ago.
Hi, honey. How was your day?
Somewhat of an esoteric Monday, I feared will end up being, but nonetheless, let me see if I can't focus it in to the best of my ability.
Alan Box is suffering from Bob Lassiter disease.
Are you feeling all right, Alan?
Absolutely insane. I see things that nobody else seems to see, or at least cares to admit that they see.
Bob Lassiter disease attacks the central nervous system, causing otherwise normal people to communicate like suicidal maniacs.
The hell with you today. I don't want to talk to you.
What's more, Bob Lassiter disease is the one form of depression which is actually contagious.
God, just listening to that voice, I want to jump off a building.
You're the lowest of the low. You're a snake. You're a scumbag.
Please, send whatever you can today to Post Office Box 1-800, Davenport, Iowa.
Honey, it's Friday night. You know what that means.
Bitching and moaning and screaming and hollering.
Please help.
14 till noon at 560 WQM. We got 1,176 votes on the poll. We're kicking some big, fat, nasty ass. I'll tell you that. Big and fat and nasty. Speaking of big and fat and nasty, what are we going to do about those Pakis? Forget about North Korea and forget about Iran. I say we got to blow up Pakistan.
Sure, and Saudi Arabia while we're at it.
Right. Well, they should have been first. Go in there and stick the American. You'd be paying like 3 cents a gallon for gas. You could drive from now until 10 years from Christmas for about $6.
Could all get a personal pump at the house.
Yeah, you could be pumping it. Just days after the signing of the Waziristan Accord, which ceded administrative and security control of the North Waziristan Agency to the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, now we find out that the Bajour Agency is next to fall to the Taliban. Several weeks later, UPI confirmed the Pakistani government is seriously considering further negotiations in Bajour and other agencies in the federally administrated tribal areas. What did I say? Administered. Ali Jan Orakzai, there's a lot of names in here that nobody's going to pronounce right, especially me. The governor of the Northwest Frontier Province has been enthusiastic about the prospects of turning over Bajour and other agencies. If the treaty signed with tribal elders of North Waziristan proved successful, similar treaties would be signed with tribes and other agencies, reports the Daily Times. Now the Gulf Times reports a deal with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda in Bajour is coming, and soon. Maulana Fakir Mohammed, you know his mom?
No.
Mother Fakir? Once most wanted cleric in Pakistan's Bajour tribal region, and his fellow militants are likely to ink a peace accord with the government after Eid al-Fitr, as the government has released all his relatives as a goodwill gesture, according to the Gulf Times report. The release of Fakir's relatives is seen as a victory for the Taliban. Maulana Fakir Mohammed supporters warmly received their released colleagues and celebrated their release with heavy firing into the air. Members of the tribal jirga or council took them to the village after their release from central prison in Kar, headquarters of the Well, so the Pakis are at it again. What is wrong with you, huh? Just because we got that bonus money. Is there something that I don't know about him, Josh? Is he like...
I got the same problem right now.
Do you? Well, Fakir to you, too. He always was kind of a faker. Maybe that's how you say his name, Faker. Which is probably like a Quaker and Shaker. Maybe he's shaking it. 1,179 votes on that poll, man. We're going to get to what, 13 today, you think? 13, 14? Whatever the hell we get, it'll be a feather in our crap.
Oh, God.
What? Oh, and speaking of filth and smarm, which is your specialty, that's why George does so well, okay? It's not that people think he's like a great broadcaster, which, he does a fine job, but not great. It's just that he's filthy.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
You and that simpleton Scotty Mac, a match made in heaven. Oh, God. What a simpleton. The Catholic Church has waded into a big controversy over reports of rampant promiscuity in India's 24-hour call centers. You know about all this outsourcing that your hero Lou Dobbs is always screaming about?
Right.
India's booming call center industry has been getting a bad press. This is what the Brit Independent writes. What with the arrest of a bank employee who stole hundreds of thousands of pounds from UK customers' accounts and documentaries exposing security shortcomings. But the Catholic Church has found something else that is much more worried about, sex, which of course isn't that their specialty, the Catholic Church? Stories have been emerging for some time of promiscuity in the 24-hour centers. There was the call center where the drains were choked with condoms, and the woman worker who told the press that she and her colleagues went to work with condoms in their bags. They went to work with a condom in their sack. Hardly a cause for concern by Western standards, but in India, where attitude towards sex remain highly conservative, it has caused a minor stir, which is where the Catholic Church has come in, offering counseling and week-long retreats for call center workers in the hopes of turning away from a life of sin. We don't want to do moral policing, the Archbishop of Bangalore, Bernard Morass, said. That's what he wants, Morass. But we do want to advise young people that being modern doesn't mean losing family traditions or moral values. I'm going to tell you, those Indian people, man, are horny as hell. Sure got a lot of them here.
Who isn't?
That's true. The reason call centers have become the scene of sexual liaisons is simple, according to those who work with them. It's one of the few places, but I'm horny for ice cream right now. In fact, you know something? I may let you do the noon to 1 hour. I'll go out and go to Baskin Robbins.
Do it.
Go out and get a big tub of Rocky Road with just, with sliced bananas on it?
Yeah.
And like tons of hot fudge. One thing I can't stand is if you go into a place for a hot fudge sundae and they put like a little dollop of hot fudge on top.
Like just a smidge.
Yeah, and then of course you eat that first, and then you're left with like 3 scoops of ice cream. Which, the ice cream's okay, but you want it mixed with that smear with that fudge in there, man.
Right.
You want to smear it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like the Republicans, smear and smear. Anyway, it says there's a sexual revolution going on in India. The young, at least those from the middle classes, date in a way their parents could have never dreamt of. In the big cities, more and more nightclubs and bars are opening up where men and women can socialize freely. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
In Delhi this year, plastic surgeons say they've seen a 40% rise in demand for cosmetic surgery. Oh, my God, they're probably doing a lot of facials over there in the months leading up to this weekend's Diwali festival with men as well as women seeking nose jobs.
Yeah,
probably some other kind of jobs, too.
Got nasty noses over there.
They do not. You
don't
know what you're talking about.
Oh, big old
How
hunters.
many people from India have you got in South Florida? About 3?
I don't know. I met 100.
Well, we got lots of them here, and believe you me, some of them are just fine as GI wine, okay? They are just, especially if they don't have that curry aroma, Ooh. Anyway, it says there's been a moral backlash from conservatives, of which the Catholic Church's foray into call centers is a typical example. In Bombay and Bangalore, local governments have ordered police to start enforcing licensing hours. The politicians are pandering to the vote from the millions of poor who still cannot lead the more sexually freewheeling lifestyle of the middle classes and look on it with resentment. They want theirs and they ain't getting it. You know what that's like?
Yes.
A survey of call center workers last year found that 38% believed premarital sex was morally acceptable and a quarter regularly had casual sex. The church can hold its retreats, but it seems that the sexual revolution has gotten a hold of India. And it must have spread to the Indian population in Ontario, too, eh? Because, man, you talk about a bunch of freewheeling, you've heard of freeloaders? I think this is a different connotation. You know something, I never got to any of the Inquirer stuff yet.
Oh, no.
It's your fault.
It'll still be there.
O.J. confesses in tell-all book he gets $3.5 million and names his accomplice. Don't we want to hear about that?
Okay.
If I can find it. Uh-oh, the Inquirer takes you inside Daniel Smith's death room. Here's a bunch of pills found on the floor. Ambien sleeping pills reportedly were found near the bed. She had that kid pilled up, man, like crazy. Here it is. Here's a picture of that scum hole. Isn't that something? I had to bleep that in there. Isn't that pathetic?
It is sad and embarrassing.
It's tragic, man. Like when you put chicken soup in the refrigerator and that scum forms on the top.
That's right. What if you put it in a trash bag?
You take it off of there like with a big spoon and you drop it in a bag, in a garbage bag. Now, would that make the bag O.J. writes book for $3.5 million and confesses world exclusive news in the Inquirer. What's the date of this issue? October 30th.
About 30, man.
Now, do I want to read this whole thing? I guess so.
Oh, you could hit the highlights.
And, of course, O.J. is keeping the blood money. There's a picture of Fred Goldman who's pissed off. Mm-hmm. Not that Fred probably needs the money. It's just the principle of the matter who's PO'd and fired up. In a bombshell book that will rock America. Will rock America.
Oh, my God.
O.J. Simpson finally confesses to the murder of the century and gives all the never-before-revealed horrific details of the bloody slaughter of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. The Inquirer has learned exclusively that O.J. has been working for months on the top-secret book, which will be published late this year, and that he reveals he had an accomplice at the murder scene. Now, 11 years after being acquitted of these sensational killings, Simpson is being paid $3.5 million for revealing the blow-by-blow details of the brutal knife attack. Only that kind of money could have tempted O.J. to finally tell the truth, the West Coast source familiar with the book project told the Inquirer. O.J. doesn't have to worry about being prosecuted again for the murders because of the double jeopardy law passed by Alex Trebek. In the book, he describes how he grabbed the knife from a man who accompanied him to Nicole's home and moments later found himself covered in blood and looking down on the bodies of Nicole and Ron. The working title of the book is If I Did It. Yeah, if chickens peed, right, O.J.? You murdering piece of turd, you slime ball, you scum, whatever you are. Bucket. Can we say scum bucket?
No.
With its publication only weeks away, the tell-all blockbusters have made the most explosive secret in publishing until now. In the early pages, O.J., I guess we better do the break, because I don't want to have to interrupt this, okay? I mean, we got dead people in Iraq, we got all this other stuff going on, we got election 2 weeks from now. What could be more important than another O.J. story, right?
The biggest names, the best talent.
Maybe
this
Madonna.
is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Yeah.
This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
The Ramseys went on. They passed a lie detector test. You know what happened? Nobody believes it.
Mr. Bailey.
You know, so if I'm not going to benefit, I'm not going to be some dancing monkey for you guys.
O.J., Mr. Bailey
said... You couldn't pass it to begin with. What makes you think you could pass it now?
Simple. Sign off. Tell me I can keep the money I make from doing it. What makes you think you could pass it now? You murdered Nicole, and you know you did it. And, you know, I mean, you're just amazing. And what have you ever given me, O.J.? You've never given me a damn penny. Not one thing. You know it, and I know it. You know what? You are a pig. You are a low-life, no-good son of a gun. Okay, you know, you're pathetic. You guys,
you are pathetic.
No, you and Fred Goldman, I never go on TV. I avoid the media as much as I can. They chase me. You guys, if it's a door opening, you guys are showing up.
O.J.
To put your faces on TV so you can make money.
But
you're the only person that's benefited from this, Denise.
You never gave me a penny.
Your family got money.
You are the only one. You and I, we didn't get along. We didn't get along because you couldn't control me. That's why we don't
I didn't get along because Nicole was afraid you were going to have sex with me. That's why we didn't get along. It was Nicole that told me to stay away.
Your ego is just really riding a little bit too high, Simpson.
I killed Nicole.
Yeah, well, we know that. Anyway, the book, If I Did It. I mean, just stop and think about how stupid this is, okay?
Oh, yeah.
If I did it.
Hypothetically.
I'm going to write a book called If Chickens Peed, you know? In the early pages, O.J. describes falling in love with Nicole when she was a beautiful young blonde. He gives vivid details of the collapse of their marriage and writes of their divorce amid Nicole's affairs, including a fling with his best pal, Marcus Allen. Finally, the disgraced Hall of Famer gets to June 12, 1994, the evening when a double murder in Los Angeles made headlines around the world. He prefaces these key pages by almost half-heartedly claiming that this part of the book is hypothetical, said the source, but I don't think anyone is going to be convinced of that. The working title is If I Did It. But Simpson's account of the double murder is so detailed and chillingly realistic, with O.J. as the central figure, that it leaves no doubt that it's a confession of what really happened. This, according to the West Coast source, is Simpson's blood-curdling story of that infamous night. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear his version of it?
Sure.
At 10 p.m., O.J. writes he was at his Rockingham home packing for a trip to Chicago when he was unexpectedly visited by a friend he calls Charlie. Charlie tells O.J. he's just learned that Nicole did drugs and took part in kinky three-way sex, says the source who had seen the manuscript. O.J. explodes in rage. He's worried about his kids, and he tells Charlie he's had enough of being such an understanding ex-husband. And he actually describes Nicole as the enemy. Simpson writes that he and Charlie jumped into his Bronco and drove to Nicole's home intending to do no more than scare the hell out of her. He describes parking behind her condo and putting on the wool cap and gloves he wore for golf on cold days. Then he grabbed a knife he says he kept in the Bronco to deal with crazies, revealed the source, but Charlie snatched the weapon from his hands. From inside Nicole's condo, O.J. could hear music playing and saw Nicole had lit candles. It was obvious, he thought, that she was expecting male company while their kids were in bed upstairs. O.J. was furious. Suddenly, a young, good-looking guy walked through the gate. O.J. didn't know Ron Goldman and didn't believe him when he claimed he was there only to return a pair of glasses Nicole's mother had left in the restaurant where he was a waiter. Suddenly, Charlie appeared, hurrying to head off trouble. In his hand, he held O.J.'s knife. Simpson writes that he angrily accused Goldman of having an affair when Nicole says the source, and Ron denied it. Just then, Nicole opened the front door wearing a revealing black cocktail dress and demanded to know what the hell was going on. Ironically, Ron's fate may have been sealed when Cato, Nicole's dog, came out of the house behind her, saw Goldman, and wagged his tail. O.J. yelled, "You must have been here before. Look, the dog recognizes you." O.J.
So does Nicole.
O.J. writes that Nicole flew at him, trying to punch him. He says he ducked and she fell, hitting her head on the ground and lying motionless. At the same time, Ron Goldman went into a defensive karate stance. Charlie tried to drag O.J. away, but instead Simpson grabbed the knife from his friend, pointed it at Goldman, and challenged him to fight. Clearly, O.J. was in a jealous rage. The next fatal moments are a blur, according to Simpson. He writes that he doesn't know exactly what happened, but the next thing he remembers is standing in the dark, listening to the pounding of his own heart. He put a hand to his heart and realized his shirt was covered in blood that it did. Then he saw Nicole lying lifeless, curled up in the fetal position. Goldman was dead on the ground just a few feet away. O.J. says he was in a daze, asking himself who'd done it. That's when he saw the knife was still in his hand. It was covered in blood, and there was blood halfway up his arm. Get that picture?
Mm-hmm.
Gee, I wonder who done it.
Cato.
He said he was still trying to work. Now, is that the real Cato or the dog?
The dog done it.
He said he was still trying to work out what happened when terrified Charlie whispered, "Jesus Christ, O.J., what have you done?"
Jesus Christ.
Oh, brother. O.J. Then it must have been a moment of high drama. Cato the dog suddenly howled, and they saw him fussing over Nicole's body, walking through her blood. Simpson writes that he noticed he'd left bloody footprints. He quickly stripped off his blood-soaked pants and shirt and wrapped the knife and shoes inside them. That couldn't have been when he threw in that wastebasket in Chicago at the airport, could it? On the ride back to O.J.'s Rockingham estate, Charlie was a basket case, but somehow Simpson, whatever his name is, stayed icy calm. Parking in the rear of Rockingham, with a limo driver already waiting out front to take him to the airport, Simpson handed the bloody bundle to the terrified Charlie, ordered him to get rid of it. Then he made his way into the house through a neighboring property, showered, and flew to Chicago as if nothing had happened. Simpson says that at one point he thought maybe he'd wake up and find he'd dreamed the whole thing, according to the source, but his nightmare was real. And Fred Goldman says he ain't getting a dime, he hasn't gotten a dime, and Hubman and Dreher, that's what he said. How you like that?
Uh-huh.
So I bet you're going to go out there and get that book. No,
I don't need to now.
Not. That's right. You want to hear any excerpts from the book, I'll read them on the air so you people can save your money. Steve Irwin, death video revealed. Croc Hunter tried to wrestle giant stingray. Didn't work out too good. Eminem accused of assaulting his adopted daughter. Well, it's a good thing he didn't go to Africa and try to adopt some daughter there. Like that bitch from Madonna. Next. Steroids make you bigger, stronger, and dumber, which explains a lot about football players, I guess. Well, here's the 8-year-old dark-complected preacher man. 8-year-old child walks tall in the pulpit. Oh, my God. Paris's bruises, can you see them? She's got a lot of heavy pancake mayo. Brad named in bombshell hooker tell-all. See, all these people are dying in Iraq based on a bunch of fascist lies, and America's worried about Brangelina and Benifer, and the runaway bride that it did, and that bitch in, where the hell was that, in the Bahamas?
Aruba. Chicken Aruba.
Oh, yeah, Aruba rhymes with Tubby the Tuba. Brad named in bombshell hooker tell-all plus Angelina breakdown as threats send her over the edge. Oh. Sex for Sale blockbuster reads like a Hollywood who's who. The shocking new book. Everything is shocking. You notice that? It's either chilling or it's shocking or both. The new book, Hooking Up, is going to have Hollywood husbands running for the hills to escape its outrageous charges of bizarre and illegal sexcapades. The just-published tell-all is written by 4 women, 2 call girls, a porn star publicist, and singer Jennifer Young, daughter of the late Oscar winner Gig Young. In addition to accusing Brad Pitt of hiring a hooker, which there's a whole story about that here, who cares, the authors make several incredible claims, including the Departed star Jack Nicholson paid 2 call girls $1,000 each to perform sex acts on him during a cocaine and booze-fueled party at his home. Who'd have thought that, huh?
Yeah, and?
Kevin Costner, still married to his first wife, Cindy, partied with a call girl at a 5-star hotel and rewarded her with a T-shirt. What a big spender.
Wow.
Joe Pesci met a call girl, Olivia, at a nightcllub. She claims the diminutive Dynamo took her back to his home with 2 other girls, had sex with them one after the other. I thought I was going to say one on top of the other, but that would be bad. Charlie Sheen liked 18-year-old girls and enjoyed having her call girl dress up as a cheerleader. What do you think his favorite flick was, huh? Debbie does what?
Dallas?
Malice. So there you go. Big bombshell. A shocking exclusive.
I'm shocked.
Diane Sawyer to leave GMA, Good Morning America, over feud with Barbara Walters. Who cares? New Play Pals. Clay Aiken and Pee Wee Herman are Hollywood's hottest odd couple. Oh, boy. Goes on and on with his caca, man. Nicole and Keith's desperate bid to have a baby. She's already seen a fertility specialist. Maybe somebody ought to draw him a roadmap with a few arrows on it.
I can show how to do it.
Shocking truth. Here's another shocking story.
Oh, my God.
Behind brawl on Grey's Anatomy. Hateful gay slurs could get Star kicked off the show. Isaiah Washington's job may eventually go to Boris Kodjoe. Tell you one thing, Boris looks pretty good to me. 33-year-old soul food star Boris Kodjoe. You know who that is?
No.
You know who, well, what is this show? Grey's Anatomy, ever seen it?
No.
Hothead Isaiah Washington hurled a vicious gay slur at one of his co-stars during an on-set brawl, and the ugly explosion of hate is ripping apart TV's #1 show. It's the #1 show. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Seen it, Josh?
No, but I've heard of it. Everybody can't stop talking about it.
Really?
Must be spectacular.
Wow. Last week, the Inquirer broke blockbuster news that Isaiah 43 choked Patrick Dempsey 40 in an October 9th fight on the set of Grey's Anatomy, and now we can reveal the secret behind the outrage. The melee has set off WW3 on the show and may cost Isaiah his job, an insider told the Inquirer. All the insiders all the time. You know how many insiders there are?
How many?
The cast is divided over the shameful event. Not as shameful as the UM-FIU game, but what could be. I think what they ought to do is just get rid of that football program at UM. Don't you, Josh?
No.
Get rid of it. Why not? You making any money off of that?
Am I?
Yeah. Are you involved in that in any way?
Not at all.
Get rid of it. Let's have an institution of higher learning over there, Donna Shillelagh, and cut the crap, okay, with that gangster ball? Enough with that bull crap. And, of course, as far as FIU is concerned, what the hell is their story? Bunch of punks. Anyway, as the Inquirer exclusively revealed last week, Patrick and Isaiah clashed over cast members being late to the set right before shooting a scene at Prospect Studios in L.A. A heated discussion quickly escalated to violence when Isaiah snapped, revealed an eyewitness. At one point, Isaiah yelled, "I'm not your little faggot like so-and-so," name deleted according to the source. Those who heard him were stunned. Little faggot. Remember that song by Elton John, Little Faggot?
Mm-hmm.
A little genie? Little faggot. Because of the extreme nature of the slur, the Inquirer is withholding the name of the co-star targeted by Washington. The extreme nature of the slur, like little faggot. During the brawl, an enraged Isaiah grabbed Patrick by the throat and shoved him a few feet. The violent behavior and gay slur have seriously jeopardized Isaiah. Oh, there it is. There's that little faggot.
Yeah, and the song, too.
Seriously jeopardized Isaiah's future with the show, said the source. Ironically, there had been talk about Isaiah leaving as far back as last summer, long before his feud with Patrick turned physical. He's getting down and getting physical with little faggot. There were rumblings that Isaiah wasn't happy with the direction of his character, disclosed the insider. He's been considering moving to the African country of Sierra Leone, where he recently discovered his family roots and bought a home and some property to build a hotel. Isn't that where you always wanted to move to Sierra Leone?
Oh, yeah.
When the writers developed the present plotline in which the hand of Isaiah's character, Dr. Preston Burke, is seriously injured and his career is put in jeopardy, it gave producers an out if Isaiah suddenly decided to leave the show. Now they could use the storyline to show him the door. Another source close to the show reveals executives already are looking at potential replacements and said that 33-year-old soul food star Boris Kodjoe, who's a very light-complected, fine-looking young man, is high on the list. He makes Malcolm look like the bottom of my shoe on a bad day in the cornfield. A portion of the cast feels that Patrick is responsible for the violent outburst as Isaiah, and they don't want to see the show's brilliant chemistry damaged by losing a key star. This must be a hell of a show, Grey's Anatomy.
That's what I heard.
You going to watch it?
I'm not.
Oh, Brittany's quick and easy plan to shape up. When's that going to start? God, just amazing. People obsessed with celebrity crap, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Woman arrested for saving a dying dog. And here's pictures of a little, what a cute puppy. Isn't that sad?
A little bit.
I think we need a lot more of these judgmental people. They need to be dead and more of the dogs alive. One partner not enough for Mario Lopez. Who cares about him, huh?
Who?
That's that alleged rapist from that, what was that awful show he was on? Wasn't he on Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, that's Slater.
Dancing with the Stars.
Never got that show.
Is that Slater or Tinkerbell? One of those. How are we doing on the poll, by the way? We're going to have like a gigantic number of votes to welcome me back today after a very well-deserved vacation. 1248. That's not so great. That's not bad. I got 5 now. So I guess Fat Boy and the Fat Family have all voted.
The biggest names.
Stay away from me, Fat Boy.
This is Neil Rogers.
You tub.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Salespeople are ice holes.
Absolutely.
From 19 at 560, WQM. Don't forget Mad Dog coming up at 2 o'clock. The Power Hour, the Humper and the Mad Dog together between 4 and 5, and then Hank 5 to 7. Panther preview at 7 o'clock tonight. Any interest?
No.
And the Panthers and the Washington Capitals at at Washington at 7:30.
You didn't play that bit for any particular reason, did you?
What do you mean by that?
You didn't just get another email, did you?
No.
Oh, because I did.
Saying?
Here are the hourlies, Pally.
You want to fax them to me?
I'm faxing them to you now, and I wrote him back, thanks, and where are the monthlies, and stop emailing Neil.
And go away, okay? You don't work for QM anymore, okay? You're not connected with the show. You got nothing to do with us. I know you've got an obsession, fat boy, but go away. We hate you. We can't stand you. In addition to which, during the 9 years that this show's been on this station, and even though we begged them not to hire you, you never sold anything on this show anyway, except that one diner that went out of business with the wilted brown lettuce. Remember that place?
Yes, I do.
Go away, okay? You and Pete Bolger, it's a match made in heaven. Have a great life together and leave us alone. You know, we've talked about this so many times over the years. People, you just pray for them to go away, and they just won't do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fax. It says, Dear Neil, this is pretty sad.
Yeah.
It says, let's see, Neil Rogers spent his vacation last week in Miami. Tom Brady also spent his bye week last week in Miami. Both come back on from vacation on fire, with Brady leading his team to a win and Neil putting on an entertaining show. Is there anything you want to come out and tell us, Neil? Yeah, right. Since Tom seems to spend all of his off time down here, and now we have slot machines, does this mean that we sing more of you now? No. As for the poll, Matt Fudge, yeah, you can put her on there, Matt Fudge. You going to put it on?
We are now.
He claims he got a 9 share on WABC. Of course, he's on in the middle of the night on Sunday night. He also mentioned he saw Catherine Harris' bumper sticker in Miami, but didn't say a word about the Washington Post report that Republican National Committee officials wined and dined him at the Forge, which I'm sure they did. Lastly, I listened to the Bob Lassiter air checks when he called you from Davenport, Iowa, and again when you went up to Tampa and did your show together from his studio, and you were absolutely correct. Your voice is much better now than it was then. What does that mean? My voice is much better now than it was then?
Okay.
Well, you had a high-pitched, squeaky, nasally voice back then.
No, actually what happens is that when you weigh about 8,000 pounds, which I did back in those days, it constricts your balls, you know.
Yeah, and you
That's all you got. You start talking like that. I wonder what his excuse is, huh?
By the way, when you see these and extrapolate the actual number.
I beg your pardon?
As opposed to the 10 to 3 number. When you see the actual number. No, it's a good number.
Well, what is it?
I got an 8.0.
What do you mean you got an 8.0?
I mean, I got it on the calculator. That's what I mean. My math. I got an 8.0. My calculations.
You got an 8.0.
My math. So you'll have to check my math. In other words, when I did the equation, I got an 8.0.
George got an 8.0. Oh, let's take a look at these hourly, shall we?
God.
I'll tell you one thing. Fat Boy's a pain in the ass, but he's sure more useful when the ratings come out than our program director.
Hey, let's hire him.
Yeah. You're hired, Fat Boy. Just stay out of our hair. Look at that big finger standing up in the middle there Monday through Friday in this chart. On his graph. It's a graph?
It is a graph.
Wow. We've changed the term. Instead of morning drive and afternoon drive, it's morning dive and afternoon dive. But keep in mind that the current lineup was only in place for like a matter of moments, right? Isn't that the excuse?
Correct.
Isn't that the story we're peddling now? Midnight to 1 in the morning. This is Men 2554. Oh, and we've also got the waxy one, too. Look at that.
Kind of like
of course,
the reverse.
When you look at the number of people listening as compared to what we got, morning. I don't want to go through all of this, do I? Look at that. From 1 to 5 in the morning overnight on Waxy, they got a point. It's hard to do that, Joel. They got a point. How do you like that? And, of course, we got a .8. Midnight to 1 in the morning, Eddie K's got a 4.6 share. They got a 0.5. Wow. 5 to 6 in the morning, they got a 3.0. And the Big O's got a 3.5. 6 to 7, he's got a 3.1. They got a 1.6. So the Big O's holding his own. Of course, who else would? 7 to 8 a.m. See, I don't understand this. What does this mean? What does this mean? How could they have beat us in the morning if these numbers are correct?
I don't know.
They got a 1.7, a 1.7, and a 1.1 in the 7 to 10 hours, and we got a 2.5, 2.1, and a 2.8. So how the hell could they have beaten us? Something stinks. There's something really smells rotten, baby. Something that is an aroma could put you in a coma. I'm going to move to Tacoma.
Yeah, this don't look right.
How is that possible?
I don't get it.
It says 6 to 10 a.m. They got a 1-6 in men. We got a 2-6.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clarence is... see, there's more sabotage for Kenny and Bo. You're full of it, Clarence.
No, I mean, I got those numbers right here. They say the same thing on that sheet.
So how's that possible?
Something's wrong somewhere.
Something stinks.
I'll send you the actual pages in question there, and you decide.
I decide what? Well, what are you talking about?
Those Arbitrends that we got.
Here's what he sent me. 6 to 10, he's got them with a 2.3, and we got us with a 2.1.
Correct.
Well, that is not correct. That's what he sent us. We got a 2-6, and they got a 1-6. So you're dissing our morning thing now, the new morning wrecking crew, that sports show, and it's wrong, Clarence. I think you ought to be taken out in the parking lot and tarred and feathered, horsewhipped. Don't you?
I'm going to send you the morning numbers, at least the pertinent
Send me a
pages.
bunch of crap, okay? Whatever you got. Just send me a pile of crap. I'll read it. Middays. Here we go. Let's do the break, though, first. Wow, look at that. Look, are they making some inroads or what over there, midday?
No.
None. And according to this, afternoons we had a 2-8 and they had a 1-7. How did he ball it up so bad? You know, Clarence, you're an idiot, okay? If Joe Bell doesn't come in here and fire his ass right now, I want to know why, okay? Are you going to tell me why? One thing I want to know, Joe, it's...
Why?
God, get him out of there. This kid couldn't read a book if you stuck it up his eyeball. He's got any idea what's going on. This is our fearless leader. Maybe he's busy looking for another job. We can only pray. Maybe he was responsible for the big brawl in that UM game, don't you think? You can't spell scum without Clarence. 26 past noon. You follow what I'm saying? These numbers don't match what he's
don't add up.
Yeah. I'll tell you what does add up. That is buying a great Chevy for my good friends at Lou Backroad Chevrolet, where I've been buying them for over 20 years now. I bet you I've bought...
I just noticed it.
What?
Fat Boy sent us spring 2006. Thank you, Fat Boy.
Well, these aren't even the right numbers. Yeah, this is the spring.
Sabotage.
Yeah, he's messing with us. Go to hell, Fat Boy, okay, you turd, you tub. That's just more game playing, okay? Will you ignore him, please? I'm begging you, please. Ignore him. Kill him. Put him on a spit and roast him like a pig. Can I get back to Lou Backroad, something more pleasant now? I've got my two great Corvettes, in 2004 and 2005 for anybody who might be interested, and you can't have them. I love them. And, of course, I love Lou Backroad, too. That's why I keep going back and back. I never buy a car from anybody else. Their service, their salespeople, and selection of cars are the best, and their prices cannot be beat anywhere in town. They take fantastic care of me, give me tremendous, unbeatable service, and they'll do the same for you. That's why I've been going back for over 20 years now. And right now, it's Lou Backroad Chevy's Race to 1,000. For the first time in their history, they're going to sell over 1,000 cars in this month. They got the largest selection of new and used cars, including the hot new Corvettes, which if you've never driven a Corvette, boy, you haven't lived. They got trucks and SUVs and minivans, the biggest selection anywhere around. They've also got used cars starting at just $39.95, everyone backed by a Carfax guarantee. Lou Backroad is out to sell 1,000 cars this month, and they're staying open until midnight every night to get to that 1,000 number. Forget the price, make them an offer, and they'll beat any deal. More money for your trade, 0% financing, rebates up to $6,000. Whatever it takes, they'll make you an offer you'd be crazy to refuse. Only at Lou Backroad Chevrolet, with 2 locations for you. They're in Pompano Beach, a quarter mile west of I-95. We look for that big American flag. It's bigger than your house. And in Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Sawgrass. And don't forget, they're staying open until midnight every night. So get over to Lou Backroad right now and get the best deal you ever heard of in your life on a great new Chevy, or check them on the wicked web at LouBackroad.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Blow.
What an embarrassment. What a joke.
In music stores now, George Bush sings the Beatles.
Help. I need somebody. Help.
Not just anybody.
Help.
George Bush sings the Beatles.
Abu Gar. Well, life goes on.
Special bonus track featuring Linda McCartney. Big Mama bag with every purchase.
Abu Gar Reb.
I don't know what you're doing, but why are you sending me all of these?
You know,
I don't
hearing you yell in the other room. Josh is off to take a who knows what. But you know that the fax machine sends it all at once. It was already through there before you started complaining the first time. And besides,
why do I want this? Why do I want all these?
You said send me whatever you got.
Well, I don't mean by this. I mean like monthly numbers. And then if Fat Boy sends you any more anything, just take it and shove it up his butt.
He ripped everything out of the fax machine that I was going to send you.
Just kill him, okay? Just take him and put him, like I said, on a spit like a roasted pig.
Anyway, 73 is the actual number, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
The midday number.
Is that the MS or you just extrapolate?
No, that's the MS. That's the MS right here. According to the sheet.
Number one, damn it! Oh!
Right, and who was second? Oh, you don't have
no, I just have ours.
Well, so how do we know we're number one?
I just figured.
Who's bringing you this information? I'm afraid
this is all part of the Fat Boy package.
The Fat Boy package.
Yeah, except this one actually says summer on it.
Oh. Would you stop with him? You know, you've always had this obsession. You just don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get it. You're
We're
obsessed.
buds. We party.
Especially when he tried to throw you under the bus with that Treasure Island crap. You just won't get it. I tried to tell you. I tried to warn you. You won't listen to me. Helen McCormack in the Independent UK writes, Israel admits phosphorus bombs used in Lesbianon. The Israeli government has admitted for the first time that it used controversial phosphorus bombs during its 34-day war campaign in Lebanon. Cabinet Minister Jacob Ederi confirmed that the army had used the bombs to attack military targets during its war with Hezbollah in July and August. Previously, Israel had said the bombs had only been used to mark out targets. During the conflict, doctors in Lebanon reported treating civilians who appeared to have been hit by the shells, which leave their victims with severe chemical wounds that can be fatal. The reports led the Lebanese President Emil Ahoud to accuse Israel of breaching the Geneva Convention, which bans the use of white phosphorus both as an incendiary weapon against civilians and in air attacks against military forces in civilian areas. Yesterday, reports in the Israeli daily newspaper Haaretz revealed that Mr. Ederi confirmed to Parliament last week that it had used the bombs during its operations this summer. He did not, however, provide details on whether it had been used in any civilian areas, but maintained that the weapons had been used according to international law. And why is it that we have to get this information from Fat Boy when our program director is busy filling his face with lunch now?
I give up.
Speaking on behalf of the Israeli Defense Ministry, Amir Peretz, Mr. Ederi said the Israeli army holds phosphorus munitions in different forms. The Israeli army made use of phosphorus shells during the war against Hezbollah and attacks against military targets in open ground. Many human rights organizations, including the International Red Cross, have pushed for a complete ban on using the bombs on any human rather than the protection towards civilians currently afforded by the Geneva Convention. The admission of the use of the bomb comes as a 12-year-old boy was killed in Lebanon after ordnance from a cluster bomb exploded in his village in Halta in southern Lebanon. And the sound continues.
I'm dying over here.
Coming. And the public is like, but what about Bennifer? What's this got to do with Bennifer and with, like, Brangelina? And with a Deal or No Deal? Right?
Absolutely.
1,307 votes on the poll. All I want to know, I just want to make sure that we're number 110-2 and we're getting that bonus coming out of my
I'll wait for someone in management to confirm that.
Somebody in management? I already got the fax, the email. 1308. We got past 1300. I think we got a shot at 15 today, don't you? 15 votes?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Miss Fudge, by the way, don't have any votes. Probably because nobody knows who the hell that is. Silly Queen wears a silly-ass hat, cover up his bald spot. Saddam Hussein to be murdered for the GOP, writes Joshua Holland on the Smirkling Chimp. Says, as you know, just 2 days before Americans go to the polls this November, a verdict is expected in one of Saddam Hussein's trials. He and his co-defendants are almost certain to get the death penalty. You've got to be extraordinarily naive to believe that the timing isn't intentional. For the last two news cycles before the vote, pundits will point to the verdict as a tangible sign of progress in Iraq, even as the country stands on the brink of falling into total chaos. It's on the brink. They had Arlen Specter on air on one of the Talking Head shows yesterday, and he was asked, do you think that Iraq is in a state of civil war now? And he said, yes. Yes, that's all I said, yes. The trial's been driven by politics since it started. Goes on with a bunch of crap that we really don't care about. Do we care about it?
No, really.
No. Just the timing of it that looks a little bit suspect to me. Surprise! You know, we got 2 weeks from tomorrow, man. They can come up with lots of crap between now and then. You know that.
Sure.
We've seen it before. So what about those Dolphins, baby? Oh! Can you just imagine if we were listening to the sports shows, which we're not?
Hey, do you have FX by chance?
Do I have what?
The FX channel up there.
No.
Okay.
Well, what am I missing? Somebody naked? Is James Franco on there naked?
No, but close, if not better. What's the guy that talks like this and I can't think of his name? Ryan Philippe with his shirt off and glitter all over his chest.
And doing what all over his chest?
Glitter all over his chest.
Gary Glitter is on his chest? I thought he's too old for Gary Glitter.
That's the Studio 54 movie or something.
Oh, well, I've seen that already, okay? It's in Austin, Mike Myers is in that.
Yes.
right?
Yes, he is.
And you know something? I got all the way to the end of the movie when they showed the credits. I had no idea that it was Mike Myers playing the owner, one of the club owners. That's how good he is.
Huh? That's how good he is.
He is good. Good Canadian boy, Mike Myers, eh? You know who I saw in Biography, speaking of pretty people, the other day? I've seen it before.
I don't know, Selma Hayek.
Robert Wagner. You know, if he didn't look like that when he was younger, he couldn't have been in, like, Lassie Come Home. No, seriously, he's as wooden as an old oak tree.
Uh-huh.
You can't complain about his personality because he doesn't have any. And everybody loves him. They all like him talk about RJ, he's a great guy. That's good. Natalie ain't too happy about him anymore, but that's beside the point. But, I mean, you know, he's as dull and wooden and stiff as a board. Maybe that's why Natalie liked him.
Maybe.
20 till 1 at 560 WQAM. Experience the difference at Mercedes-Benz of Pompano. At Mercedes-Benz of Pompano, doesn't matter what time of the month you purchase a vehicle, whether it's one of the new 2007 Mercedes-Benz luxury sedans, the 2007 GL class, the first Mercedes-Benz full-size SUV, or their large selection of certified pre-owned cars. When you choose Mercedes-Benz of Pompano, you have over 200 employees dedicated to providing incomparable service, offering express lube, rhymes with tube, courtesy vehicles, and complimentary car wash, too. Make an appointment through their Business Development Center. You can even earn dealer miles, just like frequent flyer miles, too. Browse Mercedes-Benz of Pompano's Indoor Expo with over 150 new and pre-owned vehicles, or just go to benzpompano.com. Experience the difference at Mercedes-Benz of Pompano. Call them at 1-800-NEW-BENZ. You'll find them at I-95 and Copens Road. That's 1-800-NEW-BENZ for Mercedes-Benz of Pompano, a Mercedes-Benz dealer like no other in the universe.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 UAM.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
Wait till you hear what they say. It's all next on Larry King Live. Clay Aiken is our special guest.
You think generally the gay life is more accepted?
I have no idea.
Wait a minute. What's the big deal?
What I do in my private life is nobody's business anymore.
Nothing against being gay.
Well,
are you?
I don't really have too much control over that. I'm kind of
it's your choice. As a hypothetic.
Oh, hypothetically, I suppose. I am.
Aha. Girls just want to have fun.
Turn the other cheek and all that type of thing.
But rectum. You get it in the mall in North Carolina, too?
I get it everywhere.
Now.
And I'm pretty good at hiding it, I think.
Let's take a call. Independence, Missouri. Hello.
Clay, I've been a fan for a long time. Could I see your package?
Yeah.
The big one.
It is.
We'll be right back.
Oh, God. 12:45 at 560 WQAM. Thank God my voice is so much better now than it was back in those SUN days.
Squeaky, faggy voice you had back then.
Yeah. Since the Mark Foley scandal broke earlier this month, increasing attention has been paid to the hypocrisy of Republican leaders. And there's a website, blogactive.com, and they're outing Republican Senator Larry Craig.
Yeah, saw that.
Did you see that?
Posted that story.
I beg your pardon?
Well, it happened like last week.
You posted this story?
I did one last week.
I'll be damned. Did you read it on the air?
No. Who the hell knows who that is?
He's a senator. Is he from Idaho, I think? Yeah, he's from Idaho. And, of course, he's just another one of those, who would care if somebody is gay? Except for the fact that they keep voting against their own interests. It's kind of like the Alice Rantel and Miss Fudge self-hating fag kind of thing. It's kind of like that deal. Speaking of gay, Miss Michael's in the news again. Did you see about George Michael?
No.
Come on. I thought you were on top of the heavy-duty stuff, especially this story is right off your alley,
Something
Sally.
lately?
George Michael praised marijuana and apparently smoked a joint during a recently taped TV interview, prompting criticism from anti-drug campaigners Friday in London. British TV network ITV said the singer lit up while being interviewed for the arts program, The South Bank Show. The interview is due to be broadcast October 31. This stuff keeps me sane and happy, Michael 43 told the program. I'd say it's a great drug, but obviously it's not very healthy. You can't afford to smoke if you've got anything to do. A spokeswoman for the South Bank Show said the interview had been conducted in Madrid, Spain, where marijuana consumption is legal. I didn't know that. Do you know that?
No.
Well, you'd fit in like a glove over there, man. You could be smoking a big fat one, speaking in Espanol, eating that fried bull, whatever they call it.
I'm on my way to see Jose.
In September, Michael launched his 25 live tour, his first in 15 years, in España. Earlier this month, the former Wham singer was given a formal warning for possessing marijuana after police found him slumped over the steering wheel of his car in North London. He has issues. He was also cautioned for possession of the drug in February. Marijuana users can be sentenced up to 2 years in jail for possession in Britain, though in practice most people found with small amounts are just given a warning and sent on their way. Paul Corey, a spokesman for the mental health charity Rethink, said Michael's comments were stupid and naive. Senators and presidents don't have men killed, Michael. Who's being naive now, Kay? William Butler, spokesman for the drug treatment charity Addaction, said he was concerned about the message this can send out to young people. Cannabis is illegal because it can be harmful as can all drugs, he said. Michael's publicist said the singer had no comment, but he and Jen had a good time. Aren't you excited about that?
Thrilled.
Celebrities, baby. There's Hillary.
Republican side. When you're...
Oh, God. Please liberate, emancipate us from Hillary. She's got 2 chances. None and much less than none, don't you think?
Absolutely.
I'm talking about winning the election.
None.
N-U-N. None. Remember Sam Nunn from Georgia?
Senator?
Someone or something you would never listen to on radio. We got 1,332 votes. Religious program, 468. Rush Limbaugh, 293. Hip-hop music, 151. Bill O'Reilly, 118. Heavy breathing. George Rodriguez, 89. You're up there in the upper level.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
Sports Talk, 57. Country music, 52. Air America, 35. I hate this poll, only 31, a mere 2.3%. Jazz, 16. Classical music, 13. Neil Rogers, now I got 6. I got 6. Public radio, 3. And Miss Fudge, so far, has got the big 0. Big O. I didn't know he liked the big O.
Rock solid.
If Democrats win control of the U.S. Congress in November 7th election, it would turn the Capitol upside down and create a political nightmare for the already embattled President Bush. If his Republicans lose the majority, Bush would hear newly empowered calls to withdraw U.S. troops from Iraq and would suddenly face promised Democratic-led congressional investigations with subpoena power into the unpopular war. And all these lies. Bush, whose public approval ratings are below 40%, 36 to be exact, in the latest CNN poll they showed yesterday, would also face Democratic demands he offer mainstream rather than right-wing judicial nominees if he wants them confirmed. Bush's fellow Republicans applied a rubber stamp to much of his conservative agenda the past 6 years, including tax cuts that went largely, of course, to the rich. Polls show Democrats running ahead less than 3 weeks before the congressional election. 2 weeks from tomorrow, if they win control of Congress from Bush's fellow Republicans, they would challenge Bush on fronts ranging from his warrantless domestic spying program to his energy and health care policies. In some ways, it would be a nightmare for Bush, but in other ways, could be an opportunity, said Norman Ornstein, a congressional scholar at the American Enterprise Institute. Ornstein said Bush, who denounced his Democrats as soft on terrorism, could move toward the political center and reach out to Democrats in his final 2 years in office to overhaul U.S. immigration laws and make Lou Dobbs happy. You watching all those Lou Dobbs specials now on CNN where he's screaming about the destruction of the middle class and all these illegal aliens like George Rodriguez coming in?
I saw one.
And taking everybody's jobs and their money away from them and making the average wage like about 40 cents an hour?
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
That's what Lou Dobbs said. It sounded like Scotty Mac, but it was really Lou Dobbs. And a higher register.
All right, I'm sending you some monthlies and hourlies. And I'm sending you some things that Clarence just gave me.
Oh, that Clarence gave you. And actually, somebody already got their calculator out and figured it out for him? Hey, Clarence.
You're an idiot.
Okay, you got it, Clarence?
You fairy.
He is as slow as molasses, man. Not to mention ugly. Okay, if he looked good, that would be one thing, but he's ugly. And annoying. He's not just ordinary ugly. I mean, a lot of us are ugly, but he's ugly in an annoying way, you know what I'm saying?
No.
You look at him and you think, oh, that's a sports nerd. He's on those Canes games and the Canes stuff, you know? That was ugly, that scene last weekend. What does Donna Shalili have to say about that? Oh, she called up Tad Foote, and they were Tad Foote, I bet, huh? Do we still have that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got it. Oh, I love it. Robert Parker and Barefootin'. Only on this show. Unbelievable.
I won a scholarship the other day. The U of M said we need you to play. They made an offer that I thought was cool. Just win at football and forget about school. We Tad Footin'.
See, now, Boca Brian, Chicken X sounds better now, too, than he did back then.
The hurricane f***ing blow.
Doesn't he?
He does. Better every year. Every minute. I'm serious.
Oh.
He's gotten so much better. When you play some of that old stuff, I mean, it's still cute.
He had some of that rinky-dinky equipment, back in the beginning, before I, sprung with the big bucks to buy him a good, whatever he's got.
State-of-the-art recording studio.
Yeah. Like, what is one of the real old ones he's got where you can hear the difference?
Like, It's the Talent would be a perfect example.
No, is that it?
Oh, yeah. Trust me.
Okay. One moment, please.
I wouldn't clear you wrong.
Let's see. It's George's birthday. No, that's not the one.
No.
It's 16. Oh, can't play that no more. What about this one? Yeah, you hear that?
It's like chopsticks. Being played with chopsticks.
He's eating with them. I want ice cream now.
If you listen to WIOD, the shows in the daytime are better. You never know it by the way that they are promoting the sports and the news and the weather. It's always Hankel, Bergen, Sonny, Hirsch, and Jose Gaki. They ought to know by now. No one gives a...
Okay, that's true. And that one, there was another one that was even more rinky-tinky, ricky-dicky than that. I can't think of what it was. Okay, here's some numbers that George just faxed me on my rinky-tinky new fax machine. Let's see. WMBM, why do we care about that? Oh, I see. This is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.? No,
whatever. I just faxed.
Why do I care about 2 to 4?
Whatever he gave me, I faxed it to you.
Oh, Jesus God.
I know how much you like wasting paper.
You're not up to your usual standards, you know what?
I didn't even look at it. I just stuck it in the machine and sent it.
Well, what the hell would you do that for? Just because that jackass brought the stuff in there? Let me just tell you one thing.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
God. Oh, no. Come on. You could see how this fax machine works. You would just cry. I'm ready to. 2 to 4. Okay, Big was number 1. This is men 25-54, our target demographic. For those ratings experts out there, for the people I've trained in these ratings over the years, Big has got a, 8 between 2 and 4. 8.0. Woo! Heavy duty. That's why I'm trying to tell you we need to see the 10 to 2, and you're sending me all this other crap. I don't care about this.
Sure, it's all in there.
This is all sports garbage. Oh, sorry for the redundancy. What do we got between 2 and 4 here? Where the hell are we? We're tied for 16th with a 2-2. We got a 2-2, man, and Mad Dog never looked better than a 2-2. Of course, that's up from those Geldy numbers, from those zeros and ones. And, of course, somebody else who was in there earlier. 4 to 7. Big. Boy, Big had a gigantic. Must have had a lot of wired diaries over there. Nice going, Pete Bolger. Must have Fat Boy wiring diaries. 7.7. Where's the QM in the afternoon? And what about 2 to 4 for the game across the street there? Waxy. Did they make the cut? Are they on here at all? There's INZ with a 1.6. 2.0. How do you like that? 2 to 4. What do we have again?
I forgot.
Oh, right above them. 2-2 and a 2-0. It's tight. 2 to 4. Let's see. 4 to 7. Where the hell are we? Are we on 18th? 2.3. And Waxy 20th with a 1.9. Pretty tight. That's that big bogus August. Once that drops out of there, they're going to drop like a rock. Here's more numbers. Oh, man, I'm not used to
the 10 to 2 numbers are last in the stack because those are the least important ones on the station. That was sarcasm.
5 to 7 in the morning. Hot 105 has got an 11.1, man. Those hip-hoppers are up early. They're hopping on it early. 11.1. Now, do you believe that? Of course, there's nobody listening.
Well, that's just it.
How many people does that count?
About 30, man.
Big has got a 6-4 as number 2 in that hour, in those 2 hours. Where's Big O? Where's the Big O, huh? Maybe he's not as
rock solid
as we thought he was. I'm looking for you, Big O. He's got a 1-1. Oh, my God, between 5 and 7 in the morning. That's weak. A 1-1. Woo! Weak. And where's our buddies across the street? Do they make the cut? Are they on the list? Do you see them? 5 to 7 a.m.?
Don't.
Wrong. They got a 2-6. They kicked his ass. They kicked your ass, Orlando. You're not
rock solid.
How do you like that?
They're looking lower and they're higher.
Yeah, they're much higher. They're like number 12, and he's number 8 million. He's number tied for 23rd. Oh, my God. That's bad. What's this coming now? Is this something I might be interested in, like some time that we care about? 7 to 10 in the morning. 7 to 10 a.m. Hot 105's got an 8-8. Big 8-0. That's your buddies who do real well when Stern's on Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
WSDJ 6-9. Radio Amor 5-6. Where the hell are we? 6 to 10 in the morning. Waxy's got a 2-6, and we got a 2-3. Woo! This still don't give me the monthlies, by the way. This is the summer rating book.
Right. No, we don't have the monthlies.
And, of course, after the break, maybe then we'll finally get around to midday, which, of course, doesn't count for anything because it's number 1.
The biggest names, the best talent.
Who would care about us?
Rogers, Sports
Surely
Radio
not Clarence.
QAM.
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Take a deep breath and prepare to fill your lungs. Fill your lungs now. If you're not a white Republican, here's what we do to the Sunnis and Kurds and anybody else who's a dissenter.
Let's talk about
hop aboard and go waterboarding with me. We're
condoning brutal torture now. Dump and drown now. Everybody hates the states world round. You better tell us what we want to hear, or else your friends and family will disappear.
It's legal now.
Hop aboard and go waterboarding with me.
I'm dying out here.
We'll cover that and fearless because no one but us has the right to exist.
We very good.
Hop aboard and go waterboarding with me.
Sounds like Luke Halpin is down there with Flipper thrashing around. Come on, you can come up for air now, Luke. Let's see, 10-2, Men 2554, the summer rating book, number 1 WQAM. How do you like that? I told you, Clarence, it assured me. That's for dang sure, okay? Nice job, George.
We're number 1! Damn it!
Nice job, Neil.
And Josh.
Nice job, Boca Brian.
Nice job, Clarence. Not. Let's see, QM has got we got a 7-3. Isn't that what you just said before? That's because you already had this.
Yes. Well, I didn't have this copy. I had the
you had the
Fat
number,
Boy
okay?
copy that I wasn't going to send you at this point.
Would you forget about? Listen, I want Josh to take that machete that's sitting on top of that cabinet over
I got rid of it.
I want him to come over and whack you over the head with it. Stop. Enough of the fat boy, okay? QM 7-3, Big 5-7. We kicked their ass, man. Hot with a 5-6. CMQFM 5-5. Life a 5-2. WIOD was tied for 7th with a 4-2. So we had a 7-3 and they had a 4-2. That includes Rush. Wow. How the mighty and how the fat have fallen. You know what? Waxy is number 19 in midday. They got a 1-7. Woo! We got a 7-3. They got a 1-7. It's getting really tight there in midday, Joel. Not, and never will. And WINZ, Scare America is 24th with a 1-1. Al Franken.
Yeah.
For $2 million a year. Nice going, Al. I'd rather have the $2 million than the 1-1. You know what? You could have the 7-3. I'll take the 1-1 and the $2 million. 1,368 votes on the poll. I told you we'd make 1,400. I thought we had a shot at 15 there, but Josh should quit leaning on it. I really don't care what you do because I want the ice cream.
Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Ice cream.
Why not? I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. 1 or 2 police officers shot in Fairfield, Alabama has died, according to MSNBC. Fairfield, Alabama. You ever heard that? No.
No.
Now, you're not faxing me more numbers, are you?
No.
Because there's something keeping over my machine now. I'm going to be really upset. I beg your pardon?
We're still waiting for the monthlies, and they're working on them.
Come on, you can do it. Here's a page that says Hot 105 is old R&B. I call it the anti-hip-hop station. Says Earl. Well, thanks, Earl. It's old R&B. I wouldn't know because I don't listen to Hot 105 and have it in, I don't know, a long time. Have you?
You talking to Josh?
I'm talking to anybody, either one of you, anybody who will respond. I don't care if the voice comes back. Am I talking to Josh?
Nick's
you talking to me?
That's not my bag, baby.
By the way, my friend Dick Feinberg at Pompano, who's a great guy, we're having dinner, and he says, the average listener out there, they really can't tell. He says, but, when you've listened as long as I have, you can tell when you and George are in the same studio doing the show.
Yeah.
Which he thought that a week ago Friday, remember you went on at 1?
Mm-hmm.
And he was positive that I was doing the show down there.
Uh-huh.
And I said...
That's right.
Sorry, Dick. Good guy, but thinks he knows a little bit too much.
Nobody can tell.
He can tell when we're sitting there like making eyeball contact. Which, quite frankly, I think we would both pass on that. Bush's family profits from the No Child Left Behind Act. A company headed by President Bush's brother and partly owned by his parents is benefiting from Republican connections and federal dollars targeted for economically disadvantaged students out of the No Child Left Behind Act. Isn't that what Mark Foley sponsored, No Child Left in Your Behind?
Right.
With investments from his parents, George Herbert Walker and Barbara Bush and other backers, Neil Bush's company Ignite Learning has placed its products in 40 U.S. school districts and now plans to market internationally. At least 13 U.S. school districts have used federal funds available through the President's signature education reform, the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001, to buy Ignite's portable learning centers at $3,800 apiece. The law provides federal funds to help school districts better serve disadvantaged students and improve their performance, especially in reading and math. But Ignite does not offer reading instruction, and its math program will not be available until next year. Neil Bush said in an email to the Times that Ignite's program had demonstrated success in improving the test scores of economically disadvantaged children. He also said political influence had not played a role in Ignite's rapid growth. Right. Interviews and a review of school district documents obtained under the Freedom of Information Act found that educators and legal experts were sharply divided over whether Ignite's products are worth their cost or qualified under the No Child law. The federal law requires schools to show they're meeting educational standards or risk losing critical funding. If students fail to meet annual performance goals in reading and math tests, schools must supplement their educational offerings with tutoring and other special programs. Most of Ignite's business has been obtained through sole source contracts without competitive bidding. Neil Bush has been directly involved in marketing the product. And the beat goes on. And the rich get richer, and everybody else, that's it. That's what you get us a raspberry. Little one. By the way, I'm not really too happy with my GT Express.
No?
Now, maybe it's the egg beaters that I'm using now, but they stick. In other words, when I use regular eggs, they always like you'd expect them to in a non-stick surface that you smear with little olive oil before you use it.
They slide right off. The regular
They slide
eggs.
right out. Before you eat them and after as well.
But the beaters stick?
But the egg beaters, they stick to the bottom end, and you take your spatula, and you're like, it's like a melange of mung you get out of there, you know?
Have you tried Pam?
Who's she?
Stud's wife.
Now, why is Pam going to make any difference?
Because it's what it's made for, is to keep stuff from sticking.
It's not going to work.
Okay.
I'll try it, though. I'll go out and get a can of Pam today. I'll get Pam's can.
And if it doesn't work, you can always huff it, those inhalants.
Don't get any on your face, that egg beaters. Yeah. You're sick. You're really sick. So one thing about George, man, he is on another planet. We're on the Earth. He's on Uranus. He is just in a different existence. No question about it. That's what makes him so intriguing and bizarre and really sick. Sick! Anyway, did I say it's 10 after 1? We got Mad Dog coming up at 2, so you can fetch about the Dolphins lost again. What are we going to do? We're cursed down here.
You can act like a man.
1-6, baby. The Saban era, I think, is over before it really ever got started. Even Josh would agree with that.
Yeah.
Who's the new coach going to be? Come on, let's have the press conference at 1:30. That'll let us out of here early. Let's have a 1:30 press conference to introduce to the audience the new Dolphin coaching staff. What a joke. 1-6, and it would be one thing if they were playing like a playoff contender schedule, but they're playing like a little girl schedule. Like they played Houston and lost. They played the Packers and lost. And the only game they did win, they damn near lost that. They damn near lost to the Tennessee Titans, no less. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right about that.
And by all rights, they should have lost that game, except for a penalty at the end of the game there. They would have lost that game. They'd be 0-7. Can you imagine? Well, I can't even imagine now. The shrieing and the gnashing and the thrashing and the rehashing. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be ugly all week long. And in fact, you have 2 weeks of it. And then what's going to happen when the Bears kick their ass right there in Chicago, and they're going to wind up being 1-7 at that point, at the midway point of the season, out of the first 8 games. 1-7? Even George knows that sucks, and George couldn't give a crap less about any of this. So he knows it's pathetic.
What?
It's humiliating and disgraceful is what it is.
Oh.
It'd be bad. God. I was getting really nervous there toward the end of the game when it looked like they were going to pull it out of their butt. Were you watching it, Josh?
Yeah, I saw that. Well, Olindo, hit the goalpost.
Oh, yeah.
There was still hope. But Joey, every time he gets going, throws an interception. Harrington.
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault. That was the penalty. Because he actually kicked the first one through. I mean, they didn't call it, but you could see the first one was good. And then they got the 5-yard penalty. Was it delay of game or whatever the hell it was?
Right. And then he
hit the upright. No good.
Olindo Mare, you're very sorry. The way you kick the ball. Olindo Mare, you're very sorry. The way you
good friend Joe Costello, my former friend Joe, who I went to high school with, Olindo Mare, told us that he had the physical attributes of a butterfly or something like that.
I don't remember that comment.
Took showers naked together, and they weren't even in gym class. 113 at 560 WQAM. Let me tell you again about my good friends at Lou Back Road Chevrolet. I bought a zillion cars over there, and the reason being that nobody gives you a better deal, nobody gives you better service, and, of course, nobody gives you better prices either. You can get the same spectacular treatment I've gotten for the last 20 years when you buy over at Lou Back Road. And right now, it's Lou Back Road Chevrolet's Race to 1,000 for the first time in their history. They got the biggest selection of new and used cars ever, including the hot new Corvettes, the ultimate sports car, the greatest vehicle that any human could possibly drive. Take it from me. They got your trucks, SUVs, minivans, the biggest selection anywhere around. They've also got used cars starting at just $3,995, every one of them backed by a Carfax guarantee, too. You'll love doing car shopping at Lou Back Road. No high pressure, no BS, no games. And Lou Back Road's out to sell 1,000 cars this month, and they're staying open until midnight every night to get to that 1,000 number. Forget the price, make them an offer, and they'll beat any deal. More money for your trade, 0% financing, rebates of up to $6,000, whatever it takes. They'll make you a deal that you won't turn down. Only at Lou Back Road Chevrolet with 2 locations. They're in Pompano Beach, a quarter mile west of I-95, and in Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Sawgrass Expressway. Don't forget, they're staying open until midnight every night, so get your ass over to Lou Back Road right now and get an unbeatable deal on a great new Chevy, or check them on the wicked web at LouBackroad.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM. The biggest names, the best talent.
You're damn right I'm fired up here at 5:27 this stinking morning. I'm tired of what's going on in Davie. It's embarrassing. Get it fixed already. Have a heart out there. And it's so stinking embarrassing every time the head coach gets up there after another stupid loss, and I'm proud of my team.
1-1. What kind of number is that to go on? That's not really
rock solid. You're an embarrassment.
It's the Big O, Orlando Alcigari, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hey! Stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
Oh! All right.
Well, if you are an old-timer and you don't want to get Alzheimer's, there's a brand new wonder drug that's come along. Ask your grandson if you can use his bong. My doctor just called me on the phone. The elderly must get stoned. Well, get stoned before the early bird buffet. You'll sit there and you'll eat Jell-O all day. Get stoned and drive even slower in your car. Get stoned and watch the Jeopardy Wheel of Fortune hour. Does Medicare cover homegrown? The elderly must get stoned. You don't get off if you don't talk.
Remember in Hawaii 5-0, a Wofat?
Yeah.
We could have a character on our show called Mofat. I was just thinking about that. I don't know why.
By the way, I just sent you the our monthlies, and I have the waxy monthlies too if you want those, or to save them.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and send whatever you got, okay?
Right.
I enjoy seeing this fax machine puke those things out. Like, you know, I asked you this once before, and I guess you just grew up in a different era. But when I was a kid, in the basement in Rochester, we had, I don't know what the hell we were, like newsletters that I think we did it for school. Like gelatin, like a gelatin printing press. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
What do they call that?
A ditto machine?
Yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd write something out, and then you'd make a copy of it in the gelatin, like in Jell-O.
Right.
You know, like the Jell-O that your wife is poisoning with the Presto antifreeze.
Right.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever have those? Well, that's kind of like a step away from this very limited individual fax machine, Mom. But you know something? There's nothing wrong with it. It works just fine.
Just slow.
Yeah, it's a little slow. So what's the big deal? So the next time the numbers come out, I don't need all those pages anyway.
All right.
That's what Mark Foley said. Just one will do.
Yeah,
One
I don't think he said that at all.
One hot one will do.
He wanted them all.
They get to be 18, and he'll do them all.
I heard he said...
All for me!
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, Hialeah priest accused of abuse apologizing to parishioners. And like that priest over in Malta said about Mark Foley, gee, I thought he liked it.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed to be enjoying it.
Made all the right sounds.
Oh, my God. And all the, nevertheless. A Hialeah priest who resigned earlier this month amid allegations that he sexually abused an altar boy admitted to errors of judgment and apologized via a letter read to parishioners during Sunday Mass. The Reverend Gustavo Miares, who has been a staple at Immaculate Conception Church for the past 15 years, agreed to resign. How come we never heard any more about that Simmons there at, what was the school, Josh, in Coral Springs?
That was Ramblewood Elementary.
Yeah. How come we never heard any more about that? They made a big deal about it. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because I switched over from MSNBC. I made the fatal mistake of switching back over to CNN again. Bad move. I'll have to check that out. For many years, I've been deeply plagued by the events, Miyares wrote in the letter read by Felipe Estevez, Auxiliary Bishop for the Archdiocese of Miami. If you're sending me any more numbers, man, they're like not happening.
Sending page.
Oh. I prayed for God's guidance. The only conclusion that I could reach was that I had to be true to Christ, my priesthood, and you, my beloved community, and explain to all concerned my sincere regret and repentance for any pain brought on by errors of judgment that I've made, wrote Miyares, who had not publicly contested the allegations and agreed to step down. When they say that they've only scratched the tip of the iceberg in this priest scandal, it's not even close. Not even the tip. You know, like the tip of a sharp pencil.
Sure.
That tip. Of course, I'm sure that the fathers touched a few tips in his time.
But they liked it.
But they enjoyed it. Miyares' admission of wrongdoing in his letter brought teary-eyed reactions from many sitting in the wooden pews of the church on West 1st Avenue. This is in Hialeah. Many parishioners declined to comment, angered by the attention the case has brought to Father Gus, as he was affectionately called. Hey, Pop. According to the lawsuit filed in Dade County Circuit Court, the former altar boy, identified as John Doe number 25, claims he was sexually assaulted by Miyares and the Reverend Pedro Jove while attending summer camp in 81 at St. Vincent de Paul Regional Seminary in Boynton Beach. John Doe, who was around 14 at the time, alleges the abuse included fondling, oral sex, and sodomy. Miyares had not been among the priests purged by the Archdiocese following the 2002 nationwide abuse scandal. There had been no complaints in his file at that time. An investigation of the matter has been undertaken. Miami Archbishop John C. Favarola wrote in a letter also read Sunday to parishioners, Father Miyares and I have met. He decided to resign from the parish and seek appropriate help. Finding a replacement for Miyares is likely to take another month, the bishop said. The truth makes us free, Estevez said after Mass. The truth shall set you free. And how about an altar boy for me, he said. Nothing is happening. Can I take a look at it?
It's done sending, so.
Oh, ribbon empty. How can the ribbon be empty when I just started
so you need to get one of those good ones. I think that tears it.
Ribbon empty? How many pages did you send me? Like about, I would say...
About 30, man.
Altogether today?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, if that's how long the ribbon is going to last, that thing, that ain't going to get the job done. I'll have to go out and buy another one. I'll toss that.
Expense it.
Expense my ass.
It's a big expense.
By the pound. Oh, speaking of ass, this Madonna thing, of course, no show would be complete without a Madonna story, right? The father of the Malawian boy Madonna plans to adopt added a fresh twist to the saga, saying he never intended his son to be adopted by the pop diva, by that bitch, but only for her to raise the child on his behalf. See, she's getting a lot of crap, and deservedly so, because everything she does is just another publicity stunt.
Right.
But what about the father?
He couldn't afford to raise the kid, so he turned him over to the orphanage.
Well, if you can't afford to raise a kid, don't have one. Don't be making babies you can't afford.
What a good idea. That's not what the Catholics say.
Oh, well, that's what I say, George. In an interview with Reuters TV in his home village of La Punga on Saturday, Yohani Banda said Madonna asked that she be able to raise his one-year-old son on his behalf, rather than the child should become her own. Banda's statement is a major shift from his earlier remarks last week, and he railed against human rights groups that have gone to court to stop Madonna from adopting his son, David. Had they told us Madonna wanted to adopt my son and make him her own son, we would not have agreed to that, Banda said in his local language of Chichewa. Chichewa. I don't know what that is. Some crap. It would have been better for him to continue staying at the orphanage because I see no reason why my child should be given away forever when I can feed him, he said. See, contrary to what you were just mouthing off about, he can feed him. Madonna has angered rights groups with her plan to adopt young David Banda, who left his native country on Tuesday last week for the entertainer's home in London after she was granted temporary adoption rights by Malawi authorities. Another publicity stunt, just like Michael Jackson, the same crap. Only he might have a better fate than if Michael Jackson would adopt it, but that's another story.
Who knows? Hey, the kid might like it.
He liked it. That's what Michael said.
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah, he liked it. He'll try anything. Someone or something you would never listen to on radio. 1,403 votes. Man, I'm going to tell you, if Josh wouldn't have been so whipped up about that damn Buck lucky victory, well, they sure lucked out on that.
Hey, call it what you want.
What?
Call it
well, like I said, they sure made a phenomenal comeback.
That's right.
Like I said, they lucked out. Look at that. John Spencer, the candidate in New York. Have you ever seen a picture of Hillary back then? Wow, I don't know why Bill married her. Now he's starting to attack the fact that she's an ugly bitch, an ice princess, Desperate. I mean, who the hell ever heard of John Spencer? I've heard of Spencer Davis.
Yeah.
I heard of Jerry Spence. I heard of Spencer the car wash guy. Spencer for hire, right?
Yeah.
Robert Wagner, man, it just amazes me. And you know something? The only reason he was good in the Austin Powers movies is because he is so wooden. You know what I mean? That was the role he played.
Oh, you forgot one, by the way.
What's that?
You got to know this because it's really, really old.
I haven't got no idea what that is.
It's Tracy's Theme by Spencer Ross, 1960.
Spencer Ross?
It was a big hit.
Racing from Roosevelt with Spencer Ross and Stan Bergstein. I can see it now. Racing from Yonkers. Okay, get rid of that. I never heard of that. I heard of it, but 1406, Religious Program 493, Rush Limbaugh 311. We kicked his ass, by the way. Little George kicked his ass, in spite of whatever Scotty Mac says about you being so bad.
I told him to say that.
I know that. That's why it's funny. Jesus, boy, you are really... Josh is going to tell me off the air whatever is going on with you. George has got issues, no question. Hip Hop Music 160, Bill O'Reilly 129. Oh, there's Swillery.
Apologize, sir. What do you want to say?
George Rodriguez 91. Sports Talk 58.
Without a warning, you put that on there.
In 2 Senate debates.
Country Music 54. Scare America 35. I Hate This Pool only a 2.2. 31, 2.2%. Jazz 16. Classical Music 13. Neil Rogers 7. Woo! Matt Drudge has got 5. She's right on my butt. And Public Radio only 3 out of 1406. We got a shot at like 1450, I guess.
The biggest names of best talent. This is
Hey, Clarence, how about a shot?
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is Eyewitness News.
Dr. Phil, the crack addict staying at your house.
What happened?
One of them defecated in my roses.
Yeah.
And another one made love to my lawn cherub.
Deal with it.
What?
You know, what am I supposed to do?
Get him to leave.
How do you feel now?
How do I feel?
How do you feel when he spits in your face and calls you disgusting names?
Standing there looking goofy.
Shut up! Dude, get him out of here.
Did it feel good?
Look, I don't want feelings therapy. I want the naked homeless guy to put his pants on and stop humping my chihuahua.
Hell, I'm a damn sex machine.
Edwina, let me start with you.
Sure.
What do you think of this? You know, he's saying, as we still have Mr. Spencer on the phone, and I appreciate
132 at QM. We got Mad Dog at 2 o'clock. Going to be a lot of shrying and crying about them Dolphins 1 and 6. The Nick Saban era is over. Bye-bye, Nick. Everybody hates you like poison. So anyway, I look in my user's guide for this very primitive, cheap fax machine I got.
Mm-hmm.
Changing the ribbon. The starter ribbon prints up to, guess how many pages? What did I say?
About 30, man.
30 pages.
See, it's just now sinking in on me that you said ribbon.
Right.
As opposed to ink cartridge.
Right.
That's how primitive that. So I wasn't
correct.
lying when I said dot
This
matrix.
is like those gelatin printing presses we used to have as kids. And then it's got instructions about, and of course, anytime you buy anything like this, they always give you a starter cartridge or ribbon or starter something, which has got like about 10 seconds worth of usage to it to make sure you got to go out and buy the full-size one.
Right.
It's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
At any rate, you know all I really need?
A big fancy printer.
No, I already got my brother. The other one it works just fine, but it's hooked up to my computer for printing out all these great bedtime stories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a long phone connector. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right. There you go.
That's all I need, so I can use it as the fax machine as well. I got the all-in-one, baby, and just toss this thing right out the window. Put it out there and poison the pigeons on my patio.
Try to hit somebody that's walking by.
This is Toronto the good, man. We don't do stuff like that. This ain't Miami.
I keep forgetting.
Plus, I got Tom Brady in the other room. He's hanging it out. Ned Lamont's campaign says Senator Drew Lieberman has failed to account for $387,000 in petty cash disbursements his campaign made in the final days before the state's August Democratic primary. So this guy called Hillary ugly, so what's the big deal with that? Nobody knows who he is. He hasn't got a Chinaman's chance in hell, so who cares what he says, you know?
I don't.
Is she ugly? Yes.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's uglier.
She does look a little like Rebecca De Mornay, in spite of what you say. I always say that just to aggravate your ass, and it works every time.
I'm aggravated.
Whenever this much cash is floating around, it certainly raises suspicions of possible vote buying and other potentially illegal activities that the Lieberman campaign must answer, said Liz DuPont Deal, Lamont's spokeswoman. It's crucial for the public to know what they were doing with this slush fund and when they were doing it. What are they doing and when were they doing it? The Lieberman campaign yesterday denied any wrongdoing. Drew Lieberman's spokeswoman Tammy Sun, said the cash payments were made to campaign coordinators in the field, who then distributed money to workers who were involved in canvassing efforts. The payments to workers, many of them students, range from $50 to $100 a day, Sonat. I bet you Mark Foley could top that. This is just another reckless charge from a desperate campaign that's obsessed with reliving the primary, said Lieberman spokeswoman Tammy Sun. The fact is our attorney has assured us that the petty cash expenditures and the rest of our FEC report is in full compliance with law's disclosure requirements, just as every campaign Drew Lieberman has run for the past 18 years has been. Davy Sand. He's got a big, whopping lead. Lamont ain't got a Chinaman's chance in hell.
On the phone, how do you combat that?
Exactly. Well,
I think he's doing that.
Let's look at Mr. Fenton, and I'll bring you guys in because if he wants to respond. Go ahead, Mr. Fenton.
Yeah, where do I go to get the record straight that I made no such comment about her being ugly?
No, she is, though. You can say whatever you want. Well, not anymore, but you used to be able to. William Rivers Pitt, who writes some of the best crap that we ever use on his show on our website and that I sit here and read on the air. And I'm sure that there are people, some of the sports nerds in the building saying, oh, the old fag, he just sits there and reads stuff on the air all day for 4 hours. What kind of a show is that? What's that got to do with ball games and jockstraps and naked guys slapping each other with towels on the ass, huh? Boring stuff for a bunch of old turds. Well, guess what? Looks to me like in our demographic group, 25 to 54, looks to me like we did just okay, huh? Including with George on there, 60% of the time and even more than that in August. How do you like that, huh? Which means I could probably take a hell of a lot more time off starting right now and still keep our number way up there and be number one. What do you think about that?
All right.
Starting maybe tomorrow sounds good. In fact, maybe starting right now sounds good to me, Clarence. You jackass, you
fairy.
Quisling. William Rivers Pitt says a major event. Do I have time to do this before the break? I don't think so. In fact, you know what? Maybe it would be a good game plan.
What?
Would we like to play this right now and then?
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Play like men and they look like women.
Dallas 911, what is your emergency?
I just don't think I can take it no more.
Are you thinking about hurting yourself?
Maybe. I don't know, maybe.
Are you depressed about something? Money problems?
Hell no. I make $500,000 every Sunday. T.O. getting paid, yo.
Health issues?
Nah, woman. I'm a world-class athlete. I'm ripped.
Then what is the problem, sir?
It's just that I've seen something so nasty that it makes life not worth living no more.
Okay, what did you see?
I saw Bill Parcells walking out the shower. Oh, I can't get that out my head. Oh, damn. Now I know why they call him Tuna. Oh, goodbye, cruel world. Goodbye, cruel world.
Sir, please hang in there. We will send someone right over.
So the good news is you can go ahead and fax me whatever you like, because I slud the table over that's got the all-in-one, brother.
You slud it?
I slud it right over, and I hooked the fax line in there, so it's just sitting there percolating, waiting for you, and I heard the dial tone is on there.
Right.
I got that thing all ready to go. So the important crap that you got there, which I'm sure can't be all that important, but
we're all done.
It's done?
Yeah, as far as I know. Want me to fax it again?
That? You done it again?
No, I mean, I sent the monthlies. That's all I sent.
But did you resend it? That's my question.
Not yet. Here it comes.
1:43 at QAM, 17 minutes till the Mad Dog, and none too soon, by the way. We seem to be having a communication problem. You can tell we're in the same room.
What?
William Rivers Pitt, a major event. He says a lot of smart people have been saying for several years now that the number one tactic deployed by the GOP during moments of political stress is simple and straightforward. They aim to scare the almighty hell out of the American people. Trumped-up terrorism warnings, plastic sheeting and duct tape, mushroom clouds as proof. The list is all too long and varied, only in the depths of coldly calculated depravity displayed by those who would sow fear to maintain power. A new low, it seems, is about to be reached. Staring down the barrel of potentially historic losses in the looming midterm elections, the Republicans have chosen to fall back on their tried-and-true method, state-sponsored psychological terrorism. In this case, the terrorism came in the form of a commercial released on Thursday that all but guarantees the spilling of oceans of American blood should Democrats find their way to victory at the polls. Oh, there's that fax puking in, George. How do you like that? It's like magic. 5 years ago, reports the Boston Globe, shortly after the terrorist attacks of 9/11, the White House admonished TV networks against using video messages from Osama bin Laden. Nonetheless, the new RNC ad shows video of bin Laden and his chief deputy, Ayman the Payman al-Zawahiri, threatening the U.S. with phrases such as, kill the Americans, and saying the attacks so far are nothing compared to what you'll see next. The ad concludes with the words, these are the stakes, vote November 7th. The desperation within the GOP ranks is difficult to miss when commercials like this hit the airwaves. Whether or not it'll work remains to be seen. Americans need to ask themselves if they can trust the GOP leadership, said DNC Press Secretary Stacey Paxton, which has failed to keep us safe when Osama bin Laden is still on the loose, Iraq is in the middle of a civil war, and North Korea is testing nuclear weapons. People are looking for leadership, not fear-mongering, she said. How many pages are you faxing, by the way? Because I'm sitting here hearing that thing and I can't see it. Good God. The desperation is difficult to miss, yes, but sometimes it's astonishingly obvious. Take the following statement from Fred Barnes, executive director of the right-wing wacko factory, The Weekly Standard. Barnes, ever the optimist when it comes to permanent Republican control, warned the faithful in this week's edition to prepare for a total wipeout at the polls. Of course, there's little time left for a major event to occur, wrote Barnes toward the end of his article titled, How Bad Will It Be? The North Korean bomb test wasn't big enough to change the course of the campaign, so Republicans may have to rely on their two reigning assets. They have more money than the Democrats, and a voter turnout operation second to none. There it is, right there in black and white. There's little time left for a major event to occur, wrote Barnes, who went on to lament the fact that the GOP must fall back on their two remaining assets. Ergo, a massive terrorist attack with huge casualties and the rise of total fear among the populace is an asset in the mind of Barnes, one that, sadly for Barnes, doesn't seem to come to pass. After all, there is little time left for a bloodbath to come along and rescue the Republicans. The worst part? Simple. The worst part is that few find it surprising anymore to see Republicans cheerleading for a devastating attack so as to maintain power in Congress. This from the We Keep You Safe party. Yes, the desperation is indeed there for all to see. Not to be the bearer of bad tidings for Mr. Barnes and the GOP, but a major event is already taking place, several of them actually. A UK Guardian article titled, We've Lost the Battle for Baghdad, U.S. admits, reports as follows. A day after George Bush conceded for the first time that America may have reached the equivalent of a Tet offensive in Iraq, the Pentagon yesterday admitted defeat in its strategy of securing Baghdad. The admission from President Bush that the U.S. may have arrived at a turning point in this war, the Tet offensive led to a massive loss of confidence in the American presence in Vietnam, comes during one of the deadliest months for U.S. forces since the invasion. Baghdad is lost, and the President's comparing Iraq to Vietnam. Yes, that's a pretty major event. The Shiite militia run by anti-American cleric Muqtada al-Sadr seized total control of the southern city of Amara on Friday, reports the New York Times, in one of the boldest acts of defiance yet by one of the country's most powerful unofficial armies. The Mahdi army fighters stormed three main police stations Friday morning, planting explosives that flattened the buildings. The events in the city highlight the threat of wider violence between rival Shiite factions who have entrenched themselves among the majority Shiite population and are blamed for the killing of rival Sunnis. Another Iraqi city is lost, and the civil war between Shia and Sunni is now spread to civil war between Shia and Shia. That, one would say, is also a major event. Beyond that, of course, are the casualties. Much has been made in the media of late of the number of American soldiers who have been killed recently. 2,787 troops have been killed since the invasion was undertaken, with 74 of these deaths coming in the month of October alone. As bad as this is, these numbers don't accurately reflect the calamity this war has visited upon our armed forces. The Department of Defense's own reports tell the broader tale. A report from the Defense Manpower Data Center lays it out in stark detail. The total number of non-mortal casualties among American soldiers stands at 44,799. Add to this the 2,787 soldiers killed, we reach 47,586. A typical military division has between 10 and 20,000 soldiers, which means the casualties suffered by our troops in Iraq to date amount to between 2 and 4 full divisions that have been damaged or ultimately erased. The Army and Marine Corps have 13 active divisions, so at the worst end of measurement, the Iraqi occupation has sapped a full third of the fighting strength of the U.S. military. It's difficult in the extreme to avoid calling this a major event. Unfortunately for Mr. Barnes and the GOP, these aren't the kinds of events that will serve to help them at the polls. The wretched irony, of course, is that this occupation has been used to bolster the GOP in the last two elections. The fact that Iraq has now become a catastrophe for the Republicans is, in the end, perhaps the most major event of them all. What do we got on the fax machine here?
Monthlies.
Well, here it is. Just reach right back. Oh, my God.
Wow.
When you said 30 pages, you were just...
Not 30, man.
And what is this?
It's our monthlies and Waxy's monthlies.
Oh. Well, the audience don't want to hear all of this. 5 to 7 a.m. Where the hell is... Wow, I see. No, I don't see. Look at that. Month of September in the morning, we had a 0.9. Can that be right? Can that be us, or is that Waxy? That's QAM.
That's 5 to 7.
No, that's 7 to 10.
Oh.
5 to 7 is a 0.5. Woo! That don't sound too
rock solid
to me. 7 to 10 a.m. in men in September we had a 0.9.
That's what it says here. It must be a typo.
10 to 2 we had a 7.2. Rebounding from that grotesque August when we got screwed. They got Wired Diaries in August, and that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
July we had a 10.5. Ooh, wait till that drops off next trend.
Damn.
2 to 4, we had a 3.9. Boy, that's a big, big jump, and you can be damn sure somebody we know helped goose that baby up in September. Nice going there, Mad Dog. 4 to 7, from a 2.2 to a 2.1. Oh my God. Okay, now is that us? Can that be us? Oh, jeez. Now let's take a look at your buddies over at Waxy. their overall number. They're not going anywhere. They had that big goose in August, like I said, with a 2-3. They got a 1.6 overall. 5 to 7 in the morning, they got a 2.7. What did we have? I mean, it's kind of fun. Oh, we had a 5 to 7. We had a 0.5. Oh no! We had a 0.9 in the 7 to 10 hour. They had a 2.5. They kicked our ass bad. Middays 10 to 2. We had a what? We had a 7 something.
7.2.
I don't know. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Where the hell is it?
Got to back up.
7.2, and they had a 0.8. What's the point, eh? What's the point? 2 to 4, they had a 1.1. Isn't that the booster? At least part of it's the booster. And 4 to 7, they had a 1.6. They suck. Like I said, they had that one bogus a month in there of August, and now that September came around, they're like falling off the face of the earth as usual. Nice going, Joel. Keep pouring that money in there, and nice going with them Dolphins. Oh! Excellent investment, by the way. When you say it's a good investment, a team that's 1-6 now that the Nick Saban era is rapidly coming to a close. Can you believe that number in the morning show in September?
I think that's a record.
Point. You know who really ought to be laughing up his sleeve at that? Yeah. I mean, he had some lame, mostly when he was doing the 2 to 4, lame, really lame. Remember that?
Sure.
A couple of ones. I don't think he ever underdid a 1, though. I was going to say.
I don't think he ever broke a 0, yeah.
On the bottom side. He always had a number that started with at least a 1. You know, sometimes after the 1 was a point, but nevertheless. But these guys just started, okay?
It's a sports show.
And Bull Camper says that the sports shows is where it's at, that we're the evildoers, we're the enemy. Don't forget the Kim and Bo morning show, 7 to 10 in the morning. Be there or be square or whatever. And don't listen to that whoever else is on.
Who?
To that slime ball. Oh, man. I'm going to tell you something. With this current sports mafia that we got at QM, there's no telling how far we can go, you know? And stop and think about it. They got a what in the month of September, 8.9, and we had a 7.2. And then what was the afternoon, a 2-something? I already put them away. I can't stand it. I can't look at it anymore.
In September?
Yeah.
A 3-something.
Well, that's right, 3.9.
3.9.
And that's thanks to, see, that's why we have Mad Dog back on there again, so we can, hold on to some of these numbers here from 10 to 2. Hold on to some of George's big numbers. I beg your pardon?
Keep some momentum going.
Absolutely. Okay, let's see how many votes we got on the poll. Enough with these numbers, okay? It's the summer book. Nobody cares about the summer book. That's always a good excuse. We always got some story.
I care.
Okay? We kicked ass here, baby. We got our ratings bonus. We were number 1. We held them up by our bootstraps. It's about time they started throw a little number in there, okay? Throw a little number in there, Kenny. God, 0.9 my ass. 1,446 votes on this poll. I bet you if I refresh it, we got even more. You know what? Didn't I say we were shooting for 1,450? We got 1,447. We're going to do it. Someone or something you would never listen to on the radio. Religious program, 508. To hell with that. Rush Limbaugh, 319. Hip-hop music, 162. Bill O'Reilly, 134. George Rodriguez in a very, very solid 5th place. Aren't you proud?
Yeah, I'm always proud.
94 votes for George. They would never listen to you.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
Sports Talk, 59. Country Music, 57. Scare America, only 35. I Hate This Poll, only 32. 2.2%. Jazz, 18. Who wants to hear that? That's like Gloves, 94. Classical Music, 14. Neil Rogers, 7. Miss Drudge, 5. And Public Radio, Solamente Trace.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, God. It's a sports show. You failed.
Attaboy, Kimbo, you're doing it, baby. Stick it to him now.
Sooner or later, the Sunni's gonna get you. Sooner or later, the Sunni's gonna get you. Sooner or later, the Sunni's gonna get you. The Sunni's gonna get you. In the war you'll never win. Resistance is what you'll find when you commit genocide. With the blueprint of Nazi occupation. I write these try to defend their home against us instead. Adversaries that deserve retaliation. Sooner or later, the Sunni's gonna get you. The Sunni's gonna get you. In the war you'll never win. You leave no child behind by sending them off to die in a war that's insane and homicidal. One symptom of genocide is that the people you find with weapons to use it suicidal. Jesus push God. Jesus push God. Jesus push God.
Bye, bye, bye!